The Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. The final day of the FCS regular season brings us to Wildcat Stadium in Abilene, Texas today. In a good matchup, the #1 team in the country, the Sam Houston Bearcats, in town to take on the Abilene Christian Wildcats. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Zach Carlisle along with Andy Penny, Coy Oslin coming up later on as well. Well, here we go. The last day of the season. Sam Houston's going to the playoffs in a couple of weeks, and ACU trying to play spoiler today.
Yeah, it should be a fun one today. Of course, Sam Houston State winners of 20 in a row. The defending national champions and a 9-0 record coming into today. Plenty to play for on the horizon for Sam Houston even after today. For ACU, hey, it's the end of the 2021 campaign, but what better way to go into the offseason? A chance for 2 in a row to end the season and bragging rights against a team again who's won 20 in a row. What a better way, a better opportunity here for ACU to end the 2021 campaign.
Well, let's talk about these quarterbacks specifically in this matchup. On Sam Houston's side, Eric Schmid, the champion in the spring. He is one of the great quarterbacks you're going to see in all of FCS.
No doubt about it. The Southland Conference player from a year ago, player of the year from a year ago, a chance to be the WAC player of the year this year. He led the FCS in passing a year ago. The numbers aren't quite as great. He's a 2,000-yard passer, 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 392 yards passing against Eastern Kentucky last week. He can make plays with his feet, and he's a first down machine. He keeps drives alive. He does that very well for the Bearcats.
On the other side, Peyton Mansell filled in midseason for ACU. They're going to have to figure out with him how they move this ball against Sam Houston today.
Yeah, no doubt. Making his 4th start, Peyton Mansell. He'll surpass 1,000 yards passing today. He's a 70% completion percentage type of guy, 21 of 27 last week versus Tarleton. He doesn't stretch the field vertically much, but when he does, he's very effective. 3 touchdowns of 25-plus yards in the last 3 weeks, all 3 of those to Kobe Clark.
A win today for Sam Houston would solidify home field throughout the FCS playoffs. Abilene Christian trying to play the spoiler of a lifetime. It's the Bearcats and the Wildcats, and the kickoff is next on ESPN. Beautiful day in Abilene, Texas today as ACU gets ready to take on Sam Houston at Wildcat Stadium in Abilene, Texas. 80 degrees. Beautiful day in Abilene, Texas today as ACU gets ready to take on Sam Houston. 75 degrees. Wind will play a factor today as well. So we get ready for kickoff. Sam Houston has won the automatic bid to the FCS playoffs. They sit at 9-0. They have won the WAC ASUN Challenge. They're also the #1 team in all of FCS going into this matchup today. And now they close the regular season, Andy, getting ready to go. We're going to see the Abilene Christian offense first.
We'll hear from the Bearcats today. Their goal today, finish undefeated, obviously, to guarantee home field advantage throughout the FCS playoffs. I think they're already there, Zach, but from Coach Keeler and company out of Huntsville, we need a win today to secure the home field advantage throughout the FCS playoffs. ACU trying to play spoiler, and Peyton Mansell and that offense will be out on the field first.
Yeah, Sam Houston wanted to play the wind. We thought that would be some of the things Casey Keeler would want to deal with today. This wind is feisty. It is coming out of the south as it was a week ago when Abilene Christian beat Tarleton. And as you see, the ball falls off the tee prior to this opening kickoff. But again, ACU's going to get it first. There's the man we're about to see in a little bit, Peyton Mansell. Abilene Christian starting quarterback. How did they move it against this Sam Houston defense? It's only given up 18 points per game so far this year. Kickoff is coming from Cameron Hearn. 26 touchbacks on a season. Glad you're with us. Off we go from Abilene, Texas. Touchback number 27 on the year, and away we go with Peyton Mansell and this ACU offense. What do you expect to see from Mansell today?
Well, Mansell making his 4th start. We know what we've seen. He can run and he can pass. Passing yards just shy of 100. It's a lot of quick screens, underneath screens, get the ball out into space. Peyton might have to stretch the field a little bit today. He's got a receiving core that can do that. This Sam Houston defense, tough to run the football against. The short passing game could be tough, but we'll see what Peyton does here, first down and 10.
Change to this offensive line that we'll talk about as well, and the game starts with a quick screen and a good start to the drive as Denver Holman takes it for 10, but there's laundry on the field on the game's first play. We'll find out from Vidal Jones, the game's referee.
Roughing the passer, 55 to the defense, 15-yard action in the run, first down.
Tack on 15 more with the roughing the passer.
Well, that's a great start for ACU. The offense for the Wildcats just shy of 400 yards a game, 392. Pretty balanced, 175 on the ground, 220 through the air. And the Sam Houston defense does not like to give up rush yards. Just 69 yards a game given up by this Bearcat defense on the ground, but a great start for the Wildcats on play number 1.
It's a huge defensive line for Sam Houston, and Mansell with the quarterback keeper all the way. Tries to get a kick out block, and he'll take it for a couple. Trey Smith score, the defensive tackle on the stop of this ACU offense that is featuring a change at left guard. With Alan Hatton, he will move into the starting spot, and Jacob Thielen will get that start at right guard. We'll look at the starting lineups here in a moment. ACU faces 2nd and 8, and just 2 plays in, they're already in Sam Houston territory. Empty backfield and too high for the intended target, Kobe Clark. This is the starting lineup for ACU as we take a peek at this offense. Mansell, White in the backfield, Clark, Spadone, and Holman, the talented receivers. Here's the change. Hatton gets the start at left guard, the redshirt freshman from New Jersey, replacing the injured Truett Knox.
Hatton, one of now 5 redshirt freshmen on the offensive line. A tall task today for the Wildcats with 5 redshirt freshmen in that offensive line. Big play here at 3rd down and 8.
Game's first 3rd down. Mansell, time runs out. He will try to make something happen, and he is going to come up about 3 yards shy of the first down as Trace Mascoro with the stop. And an early decision for ACU. You're playing number 1. You're probably going to go for it.
Yeah, nothing to lose here. A great play by Peyton to make something out of nothing there. A play that really imploded on him as he tried to roll out to the right. He's able to tuck it and run. It's 4th down and 3 into a stiff wind. Do you play field position? Do you roll the dice? Hey, let's roll the dice early here, 4th down and 3.
I mean, you're 5 and 5. You're not going to the postseason. You might as well see what you can do up against the team that's been number 1 all season long, the defending champions. 4th down, quick throw, dropped. Incomplete, looking for Denver Holman. And a turnover on downs gets things started on the game's opening possession. That might have had a chance there for Holman if he can hang on to it.
Well, the Bearcats brought pressure. ACU went numbers, a quick throw out on an out pattern, 3-on-3. 3 receivers, 3 defenders. You try to make the catch, get 1 blocking, pick up 3 yards. The pass just underthrown with pressure coming up the middle. And the Wildcats give the football over to this potent Bearcat offense for the first time.
And Eric Schmidt, we get to see one of the nation's best quarterbacks at this level. This kid is unreal.
Well, we mentioned the Southland Conference Player of the Year a year ago, and in line to be the WAC Conference Player of the Year this year. And he's a leader and he's a winner.
Going to throw it quickly to the outside. And this is one of 2 running backs we're going to see today. Noah Smith is really the more pass-catching threat out of the backfield. Sophomore from Cypress, Texas, but get ready for a lot of Ramon Jefferson, who now comes onto the field, as you see on your screen, number 4, as both backs sit out there here for Sam Houston. This is a team that has blown out everybody. The one game that did not look like a blowout was the game against SFA in the Battle of the Piney Woods when Eric Schmidt did not play. Handoff here goes to the starting back, Ramon Jefferson. No gain on the play. There is the 8th-year head coach of Sam Houston, Casey Keeler. All he does is win, right? Coming off of his first national title.
The only coach in FCF's history to win 2 national championships with 2 different universities. Delaware, his first, Sam Houston a year ago, and trying to go for the back-to-back this year.
Boy, how good is Delaware, too? Boy, that program was so much fun to watch. He was a part of it. Schmidt to throw on 3rd down. He can fly. Runs a sub 4.4, gets to the sideline, and takes it down inside the 30-yard line. converting on 3rd and 8. This is someone who can absolutely use his legs to make plays.
Use his feet. He's a first down maker. And boy, you have 3rd down and 8, and you get the coverage you want. You get a pocket to collapse, and then Schmid just can make the play with his feet. One tackle, one opportunity to make the tackle right there in the open field, and Greg Green for ACU just can't do it. It's a chance to move the sticks, and Sam Houston their first down.
And the Bearcats into Abilene Christian territory, and now flags fly. Left guard Prince Pines. Sam Houston brings back all of their starters from their national championship team, and then gets even a little bit better on that offensive line when they go get Texas State transfer at the right tackle spot, Reese Jordan. This team is just talented top to bottom, but now they face a 1st and 15. Gonna hand it. This is Jefferson. ACU needs 3 or 4 of them to get in there and make it happen. Quintet and others on the stop as we peek at this Sam Houston offense. There's the skill position guys who are so good. Crest, Jaquez Ezzard, so good. Ife Adey, you're going to see him a lot too. But then there's that Reese Jordan solidifying the right tackle spot. This offensive line's incredible.
You're talking about an offense that averages just shy of 500 yards a game, 497 on the year, 53 touchdowns. And again, all 11 returners back from that national championship team.
Schmidt throws the screen. It's caught. And this is Jaquez Ezzard's spin move inside the 10, and he'll take it 1st and goal for Sam Houston, and a pickup of 21 yards. That ball wasn't thrown perfectly, but Ezzard makes a play.
Well, just able to get out in open space. Misdirection. Looks like the play's going right. Throw the screen back to the left, and it's just a numbers game. Out in the flat, Ezzard makes the catch. Great kick-out block to get him in some open space. A spin move. Just like that, it's 1st down and goal for the Bearcats.
Yeah, his center, Ethan Hagler, was out there blocking for him, too. Now the man in motion. It's a fake. Schmid going to get rid of it. On the attempt, this is Ife Adey. He's going to walk home for the touchdown. Just enough in front of him to catch it, and then the speed, and you can forget it. Touchdown, Sam Houston.
Well, good play design again is just bringing across the formation is Adey in open space. It's a one-on-one type move out in open space. Brian Bullock just cannot make the tackle. ACU just enough out of position to allow Adey some open space, and he walks into the end zone.
His team leading 8th touchdown of the season. And Seth Morgan comes on for the extra point for the Bearcats. That's a 6-play, 57-yard drive in 2.5. And Sam Houston with the early lead, 7-0. ACU turns it over on downs on the opening drive. Sam Houston takes theirs. 6 plays for the touchdown, and the touchdown pass to Ife Adey, and a 7-0 start for the #1 team in FCS. And the ball with the wind falls off the tee one more time. About as good of a start Sam Houston could have wanted. ACU had an opportunity there to convert on a 4th down.
Yeah, I think for most people, I would say the script has unfolded how most of us thought the first 4 minutes. How does ACU respond? I think that's the page turner here for ACU. Still plenty of football left. It hasn't been a good start, but still plenty of football ahead.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Sam Houston going to Ife Adey, touchdown #8 on the year.
Yeah, again, Schmid sees man-to-man coverage out of the formation and out of some motion, and it's just an easy pitch and catch as Adey starts on the left, makes his way across the formation, little underneath screen, and again, one-on-one, he just has the speed out in the flat to get to the end zone.
Yeah, he walked it, didn't he? He stood right there in the corner. He knew that's all he needed. So Wildcats on offense for the 2nd time. And Anthony Smith, 2nd running back on the depth chart, the Texas State transfer, cannot make it back to the line of scrimmage. Jahari K on that defensive line.
We knew the run game would be tough against Sam Houston. Only gives up 62 yards, or 69 yards a game on the ground. 24 of their last 31 games, less than 100 yards of rushing given up. So we knew rushing would be pretty difficult today for the Wildcats.
Davion Johnson's going to take the direct snap. He is going to fake a handoff and get to the sideline. We were told to expect some trickery today from both sides. As you take a look at the impact players for ACU offensively, Davion Johnson just took that snap, and Kobe Clark, and then you're going to see the two guys at the secondary for Sam Houston.
Yeah, Davion's become one of the favorites for Mansell since he's taken over at quarterback. 18 receptions the last 4 games. Kobe's the deep threat. 8 touchdowns on the year, 8 catches of 20-plus yards, 3 touchdowns the last 3 weeks of 25-plus.
3rd and 10, Mansell throws it back to the running back Smith, and he is swarmed 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Trevor Williams, the linebacker, on the stop, and a 3-and-out.
Well, it's a conservative play call, playing against the wind. We'll probably have a 15-20 mile-an-hour breeze coming out of the south, which is into the face here of ACU early. Conservative play call. Sam Houston all over it, read their keys. Good film study. That's been a bread and butter type play for the Wildcats all season long. Sam Houston not fooled, all over it, and the Wildcats will punt.
And they decide to set up a screen that goes 6 yards backwards. So Logan Burke is going to boot one. And into this wind, that's going to be tough. Fair catch at the 45-yard line. Just the 30-yard boot. Sam Houston, good field position when we come back. ACU and Sam Houston playing for the first time since 2019. For more on the matchup, we send it down to the 3rd member of our team, Coy Oslin.
This is the 27th overall matchup between the ACU Wildcats and the Sam Houston Bearcats. Overall, ACU leads the series 13-12-1. However, Sam Houston has won 6 of the last 7 games. This is ACU's first shot at playing the #1 ranked team in the nation. The highest previous ranked team they'd played was #2 Northwest Missouri State in the first round of the Division II NCAA playoffs in 2009. At the time, the offensive coordinator for Northwest Missouri State was ironically ACU's head coach, Adam Dorrell.
Coy, thank you very much. How crazy is that? All of a sudden, here we are 12 years later, and now the man on the opposite sideline is on the current sideline. Adam Dorrell for ACU. Sam Houston's second possession. Eric Schmid trying to make something happen, in a miscommunication with his receiver Cody Crest. Incomplete, 2nd down.
Well, let's see how the ACU defense responds. They had Sam Houston in a 3rd and long to start the game, but Schmid able to break off a long run to keep that drive alive with the third and long conversion, and then the Bearcats go down. But another incomplete pass here sets up 2nd and 10.
After the 30-yard punt from Logan Burke. Quick throw to the sideline here. Breaking away is Ezard. Boy, he is a special talent. Jaquez Ezard stands at just 5'10", a transfer from Howard. Knows how to make plays on the sideline. Schmid read that right away, didn't he?
Yeah, quick throw and easy pass and catch for 23.
Adam Dorrell, the 5th-year head coach of ACU. We mentioned he was on the opposite sideline 12 seasons ago. Here is a quick throw and catch to Cody Crest. He takes it for 9 yards. Got a chance to play the #1 team. Coach Dorrell knows what about #1 teams. He had all kinds of them when he was coaching at Northwest Missouri State.
Yeah, he's been a part of a few of those nationally ranked teams. And he made a great quote this week. He said, "Great moments come from great opportunities." You don't get to play the #1 team in the nation very often, so it's a great opportunity today. ACU trying to make a great moment out of it. What a momentum builder if the Wildcats can pull off something special today.
First time really Sam Houston gets anything going on the ground. Feels like as they hand it to Noah Smith. They haven't been, I mean, we had the big run from Schmid, but the designed handoffs have not been there, and now they're going to spread it out again here on 1st down.
In the red zone for the 2nd time. It's a team 36 of 41 in the red zone. 31 of those are touchdowns.
4-man pressure to the outside. Smith already with a handful of catches today. He's got 14 now for the season. Also averages 6 yards a carry. And he's the #2 back as Jefferson comes back out on the field. Halfway point of quarter #1.
They see a different look. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and a nickel package. 5 in the secondary.
Gonna blitz here. They're gonna hand it to Jefferson. Boy, a powerful run right through the heart as he takes it to the 6. Roland Williams was in there. Bottom of the pile looked like Brian Bullock, the safety too. First and goal, Sam Houston.
Well, just a numbers game off the left side. Again, just 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and Sam just read the play with nickel coverage in the secondary. Hey, we'll just run off the left side. Trust our offensive line to get the push, and they do. It's first down and goal.
Hand it to Jefferson here. Breaks a tackle and takes it in for the touchdown. Number 11 on the year for Ramon Jefferson. And Sam Houston up 2 scores early on.
Well, good execution here, but again, for ACU, have a chance to make the play in the hole. Coy Richardson's right there. He dives for the legs and just comes up empty, but ACU in position to make plays. They're just not currently making the plays, and the Bearcats make it look easy on drive number 2 as well.
That's good blocking up front, and then Jefferson breaking tackles, and extra point from Morgan is good. 7-play drive this time, and a 14-0 start for Sam Houston. A 6-play drive and a 7-play drive to get things started for Sam Houston at a 14-0 start for the top team in FCS. Well, they make it look easy, don't they, Andy?
Boy, it's just yeah, clockwork, very well scripted. Schmidt 6 of 7 through the air, 61 yards and a touchdown, and the running game doing their thing. There's a reason I think this Bearcat program's won 20 in a row.
ACU's going to bring it out. The flag is down. Davion Johnson with a good return. He's still going, but there's a lot of flags, and usually that means it's coming back as he takes it out to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, 2 different flags on the play. The Wildcats are about to start at about their own 10-yard line. Probably a block in the back, either a block in the back or a hold.
During the return, holding, number 84, return team. 6 yards on the foul, first down.
Grant Miles on special teams with the hold. There was a couple of flags that flew there. Boy, Johnson can go, can he?
Yeah.
They want to get this guy the football in his hand.
Well, all the chips are on the other side of the table right now. ACU just not a good first 8 minutes of football today, and even throw in going against the wind. It's really hard to open up the playbook against this wind that's in the face of the Wildcats, but they might have to try and do something here down 14.
Quick screen, and that doesn't work. It's off the hands of Kobe Clark. And does it look like Mansell's missing some throws early on?
Yeah, I think he knows the pressure's coming. Just been really quick. 2 screens now out in the right flat. 1 to Holman on the 4th down, and that one to Clark. A ball that Kobe could have caught, but it did feel rushed and not in perfect catching position there for Kobe to try to make a play, but still falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Here is a handoff. This is Jeremiah Dobbins. Welcome back. Haven't seen him in a while. The freshman from Lubbock takes it out to the 28-yard line and a pickup of 18.
That's what we've been looking for all year. Jeremiah Dobbins has not been 100% all year long. Been fighting a hamstring injury. Gets out in open space and watch the little cut. Whoop, nice cut there. He picks up a first down. Give him 18 on the play.
They love that running back room when they have everybody there, the complement of weapons with Dobbins and Tyrese White and Anthony Smith. A lot to work with for Adam Dorrell in this ACU offense. Quick throw here, nice catch. They're in space, trying to make a move. Take it out to the 35-yard line. So take a look at the Sam Houston defense. Boy, how good is this unit? Up front, they're so big with Kay Wallace and Biscoro. Linebackers, Markel Perry might be one of the best defensive players in the country.
Yeah, we've heard from Perry. We've heard Zion McCollum in the secondary. He's an NFL prospect. You might hear his name on draft day coming up.
Quick throw to the sideline. That one on target to Denver Holman for an ACU first down out to the 40-yard line.
They like the matchup with Holman here on the near side. It's a long throw for Peyton, but one-on-one coverage. If Denver can make the cut that he needs to get some space on that out pattern, he can get it, and he does. A beautiful pass and catch there from the brothers-in-law there, Mansell and Holman, pass and catch.
That's right. Denver Holman, his sister Sydney, married to Peyton Mansell. Family connection. That's a long throw to your point. Here is Mansell. He's going to bail here, and he's going to make something happen down the sideline. Boy, he can turn something out of nothing, can he? He'll take it for 4 yards as he gets knocked out of bounds. And I believe the one hitting him was Trey Fields, the linebacker.
After a gain of 4 yards at the ACU.
Give credit there to Peyton. I think the first option was covered up, and before he could look at read 2, read 3, here comes the defensive front for Sam Houston. It's a scramble and run and get what you can, and Peyton's able to pick up 4.
Well, they brought Markel Perry, who plays what's called the jack linebacker. They can put him up front if they have to. They can put him in a linebacker spot, and he just makes plays. This is a false start. That's the new guy, Alan Hatton, jumping on to play. Went to school with the guy who is right next to him, Colin James. Both of them were at the junior college before coming to Abilene Christian. 2nd and 11. 4-man rush, late blitz off the edge. Pass caught by Remington Lutz, the tight end, and they're going to mark him down. After the initial hit from Trevor Williams and a short gain, and 3rd down and long coming up.
Well, again, here's 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Everything's been underneath. I think the longest pass we've seen thus far is about a 5-yard out to Holman. Everything else has been underneath screens, get the ball out in the flat. But now 3rd down and 8. It's going to be really tough. We've seen the pursuit, the lateral pursuit of this Bearcat defense sideline to sideline. Might be the first opportunity even into this win to stretch the field. I think you have to throw something past the first down sticks here.
ACU 46% on 3rd down this year. That's a stumble, and Smith is tumbled down, but this is a flag, and I think this is roughing the passer.
Yeah, I think this is the 2nd one of the quarter.
Roughing the passer, number 6 of the defense. 15 yards added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Linebacker Trey Fields hit Mansell too late.
Boy, he sure did. Boy, he did not let up at all. That's a kind of an ill-advised penalty on 3rd down and 8. About to get off the field, and you've given ACU new life with moving the ball across the 50-yard line, a new set of downs. And again, the 2nd roughing the passer penalty here for the Bearcat defense in the quarter.
And that would have, I mean, and Trey Fields has been all around the field so far because he's the one who hit Mansell as he was heading towards the sideline out of bounds a few plays ago, too. That only puts this ball at the 43 of Sam Houston.
Now, how and will ACU take advantage of a new set of downs and a drive now on the plus side of the field?
Dax Neese, number 19 at the bottom of your screen, handoff Johnson, or rather Kobe Clark, and he stumbles to the 50. And instead of going forward, Andy, as you talked about, taking advantage, that's a loss of 7.
Yeah, now you put yourself behind the sticks. And I can understand trying to keep the Bearcat defense honest, but now you've set yourself up 2nd down and long situation. It might be 4-down territory with where you are on the field, but still 2nd down and now 17.
Never good against the defense. It's only giving up 18 points per game. They just don't give you much. Mansell, quick throw here. Holman, nothing doing. Right at the line of scrimmage. Fields was in there, as was the defensive end Jahari Kay, the senior out of California. And at some point, when does this screen game just stop working? Because Sam Houston knows that ACU loves to pass horizontally.
And this might be just a matter of, again, against this win, let's just play conservative. Let's get to the 2nd quarter, and then we open up the playbook. But again, now 3rd down and 17.
Davion Johnson's lining up at quarterback. Mansell's to his left. Going to hand it to Mansell. He's going to throw it to Johnson. This thing's going absolutely the wrong way. Johnson flagged down here. He doesn't even make it to the 50, and I think, well, there's laundry on the field too, and it's a hold on ACU.
Holding, number 24 of the offense. Penalty is declined.
Well, that went backwards quickly and then some, and now that's going to be a punt, it appears, for ACU. And you mentioned it could have been 4-down territory had they gotten close to that marker, but now they're back on their own side of the field.
Yeah, now you've got to play the punt game. You know, risk reward here. 4th and 18, low percentage of 1st down, and now you're back on your side of the field, the ACU side of the field. So play field position here and see if you can pin the Bearcats down inside the 20.
Logan Burke, 30-yard boot last time, again into this win. This one's a good one. It's going to be a fair catch at the 13-yard line and a 39-yard punt. And so 14-0 Sam Houston, and they're about to get it back for a third time. This ACU defense, boy, this is going to be, it's a tough challenge no matter what. But they've gotten Sam Houston a couple of third downs, and it really hasn't mattered. The Bearcats have done what they wanted.
Well, this can be the drive where maybe you can turn something around. The first two drives have been short fields for the Bearcats as they've started on their own 43 and their own 45. Have had no trouble moving the football, but now a little bit longer of a field as they start first down and 10 on their 13.
Eric Schmidt so far 6 for his first 7 through the air. All day to throw. Lines one up to the sideline, and it is incomplete. Looking for a day down to the sideline, and the safety Elijah Moffitt knocked it away.
I guess they're just in time. All sorts of time to throw. Look at that pocket. Tries on the far side. And boy, give Moffitt credit, the WAC defensive player of the week this past week for what he did against Tarleton last week. And the safety gets over just in time to knock that one away.
He's ACU's third leading tackler. He also has a couple of interceptions, including one last week against Tarleton. Handoff Jefferson. Going to get about 5. In the middle of that ACU defense. Jordan Pop, defensive end, coming up in the bottom of the pile. Third down for Sam Houston. 3rd and 6 or so coming up.
Going back to Moffitt on the previous play, Coach Dorrell talked about him in the weekly press conference, talked about his growth and his maturity and how proud Coach is of Elijah's growth and maturity. His physical strength is something impressive. He can run and jump.
3rd down, pass wide, looking for Chandler Harvin on the sideline, the redshirt sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. First target of the game, and Sam Houston goes 3 and out. We'll have to punt for the first time.
That's Schmidt's first bad throw of the day. That one nowhere near his receiver. Good 3 and out series there for the Wildcats. Been waiting all quarter long for something good to happen, and it finally has. And now a chance to end this first quarter and flip the field and get the wind at their back for quarter number 2.
Matt McRobert. We might not see him a lot today with how good this team is. McRobert from Australia has a season long, ready for this, of 73 earlier this year against Jacksonville State. Gets into one here, and it is a fair catch at the 37-yard line and a 45-yard punt. 1:05 in the first for Abilene Christian. How important was playing in the wind? I think Coach Keeler said, you know what, we've done this before. We have played in a windstorm in Abilene, Texas, basically. That's what it is. Out here in West Texas, there's all kinds of wind all the time, and he played it on the coin toss.
He did, and we had heard that. He mentioned that in his weekly press conference about how crazy the wind is. Matter of fact, 4 years ago, these two teams played. Sam wins 41-37, all 78 points scored with the wind at the back of the team who had the football.
Peyton Mansell has the football, and down he goes. It is Sean Mustin, the redshirt senior, with his 4th sack of the season. That's a powerful move from a 6'3", 325-pound defensive tackle.
I tell you what, the size of the defensive lines for both offense and defense for Sam, something impressive.
Kobe Clark went in motion. Timeout, Abilene Christian, it appears.
Abilene Christian, 30 seconds.
Timeout with 31 seconds to go in this opening quarter. So what have you seen so far? I mean, Sam Houston's moved it. ACU gets a stop here, and we've seen the challenges the Wildcat offense has had.
Oh, yeah, Sam is good as advertised. There's no doubt about that. ACU has had opportunities courtesy of Sam making some penalties. 2 roughing the passer penalties have kept 2 drives alive. ACU's been on the plus side of the field twice, but just can't consistently make something happen. Their first down success has not been very good. As a matter of fact, on the last drive, a 1st and 10 at the Sam Houston 42 that has a 7-yard loss, and now the same thing here with the sack. It's, again, 2nd down and 17.
Going to fake it, and Mansell is going to keep it, and he's going to get to the line of scrimmage. Javon Leon in there. Big number 94 in the defensive end spot.
And now, Zach, we're seeing Coach Keeler.
Strategy.
His ears were burning. We were just talking about this. He is going to burn a timeout here to force ACU to run their third down play against this wind, and probably have to punt against this wind here with one more defensive stop, and that should help some field position as the Bearcats will get the football back. ACU will probably be forced to punt into this wind one more time.
It is really, it's good coaching to figure out, hey, if we can get another timeout, force them on this third down and long, maybe we'll get the ball back, short field. Heck, maybe we'll take one shot to the end zone from the 50-yard line or whatever before the quarter is up to try to make one more big play. Knows how talented this team is. Third down and 17. ACU's 0 for 3 on third down in this opening quarter. This one, they got a ways to go. Sideline route, it is Alex Spadone. Did he get a foot down? Yes, he did. To the 40-yard line, but still 7 yards shy. And ACU's got a punt with 20 seconds.
Yeah, another timeout here for Sam. Don't think they had to use it as Spadone went out of bounds, but 4th down and 7, and Wildcats will be forced to punt here against this wind one more time.
All right, so they call that timeout. This is a chance for them for the final 20 seconds with their wind behind them one last time, and then they're going to be going into it when the teams switch sides to start quarter number 2. So this will be an ACU punt with Logan Burke. Back deep is Jaquez Ezzard. Georgia native, graduate transfer at Sam Houston.
The Wildcats number 27, Logan Burke. Back deep for the Bearcats number 12, Jaquez.
Burke will send it away. Boy, that's a good one into the wind. How about that? Hops at the 7, and it takes a spin into the end zone, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. It turns into a 40-yard punt, but boy, he got into that one with the wind coming against him.
That's something you could do. Maybe it's a touchback, but still it's a good punt, and Sam Houston a long field in front of him. The coverage team just not down there to try to make a play on it. Had good hang time, but the bounce not the one the Wildcats need. It goes into the end zone for the touchback.
So 11 seconds, and that kind of debunks the whole wind behind him theory for one play, unless they try to go crazy deep on this first one.
Yeah, don't be surprised here. 4 receiver set.
Maybe we'll see some trickery that Coach Keeler talked about too. They run a handful of trick plays a week. Here is a handoff. It is Smith up the middle. Takes it across the 25-yard line, and that'll take us down to the end of the first quarter. Number 1, Sam Houston, 14, Abilene Christian, nothing. WAC football on ESPN continues after these messages. Back in Abilene, Texas for the start of quarter number 2 between the number 1 team, Sam Houston, and Abilene Christian. Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Coy Ostlund, the whole ACUTV crew for WAC football on ESPN. And a quick throw to the sideline to Brennan Tibbs from Eric Schmid. So we take a peek at Abilene Christian's impact players when they're on defense, and Sam Houston on offense. Couple of stud receivers that we've already seen so far.
Adeyi and Ezzard already sub 4.4 speed for Adeyi out on the edge. Ezzard 27 receptions. Can't tackle him in space. He's tough to bring down in space.
Noah Smith on to carry, another guy who's hard to bring down in space as he picks up 6 yards. Then we're going to see those safeties and those guys at the secondary for ACU. We've already seen Moffitt make a nice play, and we're going to see Bullock as well.
Yeah, again, Moffitt, the WAC Defensive Player of the Week last week. 2 forced fumbles against Tarleton. Of course, Bullock, the second leading tackler. Both of those guys will have to play big.
Sam Houston outgaining ACU 143-42. Add more to that total here. It's the tight end Isaac Schley, the redshirt senior out of Colorado and a Georgetown transfer, takes it into ACU territory.
I'll tell you, just really impressed with the play calling thus far. A little play action there. Of course, the run's been successful. A little play action. A lot of misdirection. Looks like the play's going left, and they'll bring it back the other direction. And Slide just the tight end, finds some space out in the flat, and turns it into a first down.
Catch number 13 on the season. Schmid, quick throw here. Azard down the sideline. Here he goes. Look at that jump cut. Jaquez Ezzard inside the 35. And another first down. They're coming in bunches. 16 more for Sam Houston.
And the Bearcats are taking advantage of cushion on the outside. One-on-one coverage from the corners. It's about an 8-yard cushion. It's about the third, fourth time. Just throw one out in space and let your receiver make a play. And Ezzard makes a play there, a gain of 16, and a Bearcat first down.
Seen Ezzard be targeted 4 times. He's got 3 catches for 61 yards in this first half. Schley, the tight end, in motion. He's now blocking for a screen to Tibbs. And these plays are just coming in. I mean, we're talking at least 7 yards per play on this drive alone as Sam just keeps stacking them up.
Well, it's just a numbers game all throughout. And ACU's trying to add, more in the secondary, but when you do that, you open up running lanes. So having to go back and forth, and Sam's just picking wherever the open spot is, and they're able to pick up 7 on first down.
Well, and Casey Keeler, the head coach, telling us he just loves his offensive coordinator, Ryan Carty, who's in his 4th season. He's really done a lot for Eric Schmidt and calls great plays, too. Schmidt throws here. Sideline, got it! Touchdown! Noah Smith out of the backfield, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season. Oh, what a throw from Schmidt for the TD.
Another great play design here. Just a wheel route. And right behind the defense. Great look at it from the ACUTV crew. And just a nice little wheel route. Nice, easy pass and catch. And Noah Smith into the end zone.
That is now touchdown number 7 combined for the season for Smith, receiving and rushing. Bearcats make it look so easy. Their longest drive of the game goes 7 plays, 80 yards in 2.5 minutes. Schmidt with the TD and a 21-0 lead. Well, some news out of Huntsville, Texas over the last few weeks. For more on that, let's send it down to Coy Oslin.
Throughout the past few years, there's been many realignments to Division I college football, FCS and FBS alike. This has come down to the WAC now, where it was announced that Conference USA would be taking in the Sam Houston Bearcats after losing teams to the American Athletic Conference and the Sun Belt Conference. The WAC responded by adding Incarnate Word and UTRGV football in the future. Not a lot is known for what holds for the future college football, as these alignments probably still are not done. Zach, Andy?
Yeah, how about that? I mean, you're looking at that full screen graphic there. Sam Houston's going up to FBS and going to Conference USA, as you see it on the move. Look at that. I mean, they just announced recently they're going to the WAC, and now all of a sudden they're going to head up a level to FBS into Conference USA, going with New Mexico State, Liberty, and Jacksonville State. How about that in 2023? Moving on up the ranks, Sam Houston, one of the qualified teams in FCS to do so.
Well, I think that's a compliment to the athletic program that's down in Huntsville and what they've been able to do over the course of their time in the Southland Conference. And this short tenure here in the WAC about to change over to Conference USA.
Here's a kickoff after the wind just keeps messing with it. And ACU's going to return it with Kobe Clark, and he'll take it across the 20-yard line out to the 22. Every kickoff, the ball has fallen off the tee so far here with this 15 to 20 mile an hour wind they're going to deal with this entire day. All right, ACU down 21-0. Andy, what do you want to see from this offense?
Well, here we go. First drive with the wind at their back now, moving south to north from our vantage point, and a good 15, 20 mile an hour wind. We chalk up the conservative play calling in the first quarter, just going against this wind. Will Coach Dorrell, Coach Lamberson, the offensive coordinator and company, open up the playbook, try to stretch the field?
Clark, the man in motion. Mansell's got time to throw. There it is. They're going down the field and then just over the outstretched arms of Denver Holman. You wanted to see it, you got it, and they had it open, trying to hit it down the left sideline.
And the bottom line is it was there. Go back to it. Go back to it. That's just a matter of execution. Just overthrown Mansell to Holman, but the bottom line is it was open. It was there. If there is a weakness of the Sam Houston State defense, it is deep coverage on deep passes.
Taylon Blaylock is the man down for Sam Houston. We'll take a timeout. Back to Abilene in a moment. They got Taylon Blaylock off the field, and it looked like he needed a little bit of help, but never want to speculate from way up here how he's doing. Hopefully he's all right, the starting defensive back. As ACU puts Davion Johnson into the backfield, designed run out of that Wildcat formation, and he is knocked down right around the line of scrimmage. Let's go back to this first play of the drive prior to the injury. They wanted to take a shot to Denver Holman, and they had it open. We want to see more of that.
Boy, it was there. Look, double coverage. The corner falls. The safety's slow to get over, and Holman has space to make the catch. It's a pass that's just overthrown. Hopefully that one stays in the front part of the playbook, and the Wildcats come back to it soon.
3rd and 10, and a throw well wide and too high of Johnson out there in the flat. That would have only been about 5 yards anyway if he catches that ball.
Well, I think that's the thing here. 3rd down and 8. Let's try to see an 8 to 10 yard pattern. Let's at least try to get past the sticks. That throw obviously sails and was going to be incomplete no matter what. But you know, you're asking a lot of your Wildcat skill guys just to make plays in open space. When you need 8, you throw it 5. You know, but that one again just sails incomplete.
And you're asking them to do that against one of the top tackling teams in the country.
Right.
And Sam Houston, Logan Burke on to punt yet again. He's got the wind behind him this time, and this is returnable for Ezard at the 30. Does not have a return touchdown yet this year, just along of 36. And he has no gain on that return. Sam Houston back to work on offense, up 21-0 early in the second. Abilene Christian University, this beautiful campus in Abilene, Texas, West Texas, just a couple hours west of the Metroplex at DFW. Fans in the stands for the final time this year. 2021 season will come to a close for Abilene Christian after today, and Sam Houston on their way in a couple of weeks. With that first round bye, you figure next week, and the top seed in the country, you figure in the FCS playoffs. They've got their selection show tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Oh, and this is a fumble, and Schmidt jumps back on top of it before Kadron Johnson could do so. That's like the first bad thing that's happened to Sam Houston
First
today.
negative play today, I think, for the Bearcats. But, you know, you talk about the selection show tomorrow, and I think let's give a pat on the back, a compliment to what the Bearcats have done. Undefeated in the calendar year 2021. That's 19 games that the Bearcats have won in calendar year 2021. Of course, you know, last year they played in the spring. What I say last season was in the spring of 21, and then unblemished, and now unblemished again here in the fall of 21.
Down a sideline, AC Ezard has been involved all afternoon, and that one just a little wide of the sideline. Good coverage there as well. Roland Williams was over there. I think Bullock was too, or rather Coy Richardson, the safety. And it'll bring up 3rd and 13.
But to go back to that point, a 6-game regular season last year, a 4-game playoff, 10-0 record. Again, in that spring of 2021, they win the national championship in May and come right back, and they're playing this fall schedule, 9-0 here in the fall with a playoff in front of them the next few weeks as well.
And guess what? The only undefeated team right now at FCS
How about
are these
that?
Bearcats. This is Schmidt on the move. Boy, he can fly. He's got a long way to go, and he's going to get upended at the 35-yard line. Anderson and Richardson on the stop, and ACU gets a stop defensively. 4th down for Sam Houston.
That's the tackle that the Wildcats have got to make here. You break down the pocket, you have the pressure, and here's Anderson and Bullock, I believe, in there as well, part of that tackle. That's the tackle you have to make. Get them behind the sticks. It's 3rd down and 12. Good coverage on the backside. Pocket collapses. Schmidt runs. Wildcats make the tackle. It's a 3-and-out series for the Bearcats.
And this is a quarterback who's got 4.4 speed. They wanted him to slide a little bit more this year than he has in years past. He is a physical runner. He's done a good job of that. He did miss the game against Stephen F. Austin in that Battle of the Piney Woods. This is a good punt here from McRobert. The Aussie takes one to the 30-yard line. Again, you're just going into that wind, which makes it really challenging, but it is a 37-yard punt. With plenty of time to go in the second quarter. ACU back to work at the 30. Just 42 yards of offense, 27 through the air, 15 on the ground, and 5 first downs, but we talked about that. Most of those have come via the penalty.
Yeah, 2 roughing the passer penalties on this Sam Houston defense have kept drives alive.
Drive starts at the 30. They fake a quick screen and throw it to the outside, and that's Remington Lutz, the tight end. And it seems like every time they get Lutz involved, it's a positive play. He's averaging 22 yards a catch this year.
And Lutz has had a nice season. It started game number 1 against SMU. Had, I believe, a 58-yard reception against SMU earlier in the season. And Yeah, when his number has been called, he's answered, no doubt about it. And now 2nd down and 1, a chance to open up some playbooks, a chance to take a chance down the field. If it doesn't work, you still have 3rd down and 1.
Call that staying ahead of the chains. This is 2nd down in a clean pocket. Time runs out, and Mansell's going to get sacked. Back inside the 25. Javon Leon in there. That's sack number 2 for big number 94, and Sean Mustin was there too.
But yeah, Peyton just can't hold on to that one that long. The pocket was holding up, good coverage on the backside. Peyton's either got to let the internal clock run out and say, I've either got to scramble and run or throw this away. And he does neither of those, and it cost his team 12 yards. And what was a 2nd down and 1, now 3rd and 13.
Yeah, and that's huge. I mean, and he did have time to throw as that play was progressing. Now 3rd and a baker's dozen. He's going to throw it quick to the outside. Holman, he takes a punch basically, and he gets back up. And he's going to fall 5 yards shy of the 1st down. And there it is again. They do the quick route when they need 13 yards. Can't get it. Time to punt for ACU.
Yeah, fortunate to get yards after the contact there. Give Holman the credit. A little 3-yard out. He turns into an 8-yard gain, but still shy. And now 4th down and 5. Boy, that one's really tough as ACU again had the 3rd down and 1, or 2nd down and 1, excuse me, but can't keep the chains alive.
Burke will punt it, and for ACU, this will be punt number 5 for Burke of the half. That's a good one. He's got that wind. And the ball is fumbled. And who's got this? Sam initially, I thought, got back on top of it, but Sam Houston is going to keep the football at the 22-yard line. Disaster averted for the Bearcats, up 21. Fans are having some fun in the stands. That's the Abilene Christian Big Purple Band celebrating here at Wildcat Stadium as Sam Houston goes back to work on offense. From the 22-yard line, they're going to give it to Jefferson to the left side and a pickup of 3.
All right, Zach, my favorite part of the broadcast here. It's time for a little trivia. I like to put you on the spot. Sam Houston State, a 20-game winning streak, dates back to 2019. But they've only beaten one team twice in the 20-game winning streak. Who is it? There's your question for the day.
Okay, I like that. That's a good one. This is a quick throw, though. That ball's tipped to the air. It incomplete as they were looking for the tight end, Isaac Schley.
Hey, it's been feast or famine for this Bearcat offense. 3 touchdown drives, but also 2 3-and-out series as well. And here we are again, 3rd down and 7. Is this feast or famine? Schmid likes to run in these type situations. Ezzard's been his guide today on 3rd downs. He's got 4 in his receiving corps. It's 3rd down and 7.
And Schmid going to throw it across the middle, and that is a diving effort and a great catch from Chandler Harvin, the redshirt sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, it's a heck of a catch. Just a square in at 10 yards. Sam Houston needs 7, and nice little pass and catch there on the 10-yard square in. Harvin makes a nice catch as he goes down and catches that one right off the green turf, 1st down.
All right, so I'm trying to think about this trivia question here, right? Because ACU, or I'm trying to think. All right, timeout called by Abilene Christian.
Perfect timing.
I'm gonna get to this answer here, but
Yep.
I'm thinking about this, right? So
Okay.
the move from the Southland into the WAC,
There
there
you
was
go.
4 teams. Sam Houston and ACU was 2 of them.
Yep.
These 2. Then SFA and Lamar were the others.
You got it.
So it's got to be one of those. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, ACU didn't play in the spring. And did SFA play in the spring? I think it's Lamar.
I think you're
Is
all
it
over.
Lamar?
There it is.
Oh, it's
the
Lamar.
Cardinals.
All right,
You're
how about
over.
that?
Yeah, you're right. The 4 teams that made the transition from Southland to
Okay.
WAC. You're on ACU, SFA, Sam Houston, and Lamar. Of course, last year SFA and ACU played in the fall. You might remember they played at
right.
Globe Life Field in Arlington last year. So they played in the fall. Lamar and Sam Houston played in the spring. So Lamar played Sam Houston in the spring. They've played again in this fall. So a 20-game win streak, 19 different opponents in the 20-game win streak. Lamar, the only team that Sam Houston has beat twice. And Mr. Carlisle is trying to get you going into the off season, but you get the bragging rights as you got the last trivia
I think
question.
there's a cookie up here on this fifth floor of the stadium somewhere that I feel like I want to get. But, yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, 19 wins in the calendar year of 2021. That's the most in the history of this sport. North Dakota State a couple of years ago. Look at that. Chicago, Yale. Look at this. I mean, we're talking back in the 17th century. I mean, look at this.
You remember that Yale team
19th century,
of 1894? They were pretty good, that Yale team of 1894.
Yeah, well, yeah. I watched them on film, I think, last week. I mean, and then Yale did it again in 1889. I mean, you're talking 19th century college football. The University of Chicago did it right before it turned to 1900. I mean, just that's crazy. And 19 in a year.
If you think about it, with the FCS playoffs on the horizon, I know it goes into January, but that's a record that could be 20, 21, 22, 23. That one will stand for a long, long time.
Yeah, and again, we're hoping nobody has to play in a spring again and for a long, long time as well. This is Eric Schmidt on first down. Look at him go, and it is in and out of the hands of Harvin, and otherwise that would have turned into something else. And we talked to Coach Keeler, and to quote him, he said he can extend plays like Patrick Mahomes. Maybe not quite on that level, but it's that type of play at this level.
Well, that's a pretty high compliment. Scramble to the right. Do I tuck it and run? Nope. I got a receiver open. All that is in and out of the hands of Harvin. If not, that's a highlight reel type of play that you're sending to NFL scouts if that's completed. But nonetheless, a beautiful looking play there by Schmidt.
Schmidt, not a big guy, but really is so crafty there in the pocket and can maneuver and get outside of it as well. Jefferson on the carry here. And a big part of the development of Eric Schmidt, according to Coach Keeler, has been the offensive coordinator Ryan Carty. Got him throwing in the pocket more and was really able to figure it out between the tackles, can still do what he does outside the pocket, but if they can throw in the pocket, he is one of the top ones you'll see at this level in the country.
Chance for the Wildcats again to get off the field here, 3rd down and 6.
ACU is going to bring 4. Schmidt with pressure, throws back across and going to the ground. Is it a catch? Yes, it is. Right there at the 47-yard line, and that's a day. That's a tough play.
Well, it's another example of what we were just talking about 2 plays ago. You can draw up as many plays as you want, but you get into situations where pocket's going to collapse, something's going to happen, you scramble, you make something, you draw something out in the dirt, and that's where Sam Houston's just been so effective, and they keep the drive alive on another improvisation there by Schmidt.
Here is some trickery. See this a few times a game, and this is Crest. He wanted to throw it. He's just going to end up taking off with it, and he's out of bounds along the sideline after a gain of 3, the most eventful 3-yard gain you'll ever see. They wanted to take a shot down the field. They do this a few times a game. Knew we'd see it today.
It's called keep the defense honest there. And Crest, who's one of the leading wide receivers for the Bearcats, he was looking forward to chunking one down the field. Just no opportunity. He does the smart thing. He picks up 3.
So 2nd and 8 for Schmidt in this offense. Go 5 wide and a ton of tools to throw it to here. All day. Throw it on the run, sideline, what a catch! It's Ezard. There is the magic of Eric Schmidt. Outside the pocket, down to the 15-yard line.
Well, again, it's another play out of the playbook that breaks down. ACU only rushes 3 down linemen, so 5 offensive linemen against 3 rushers, and eventually coverage is going to break down in a situation like that, and it does. And Ezard, another nice catch on the far sideline. But when you give a guy like Schmidt all day to throw and this receiving core all day to get open, it's going to work for success, and it does there.
And that's a 30-yard completion, and that is just a guy making a play. That's what's really fun to watch. There's an injury down on the field, and Sam Houston leading 21-0, and we say welcome into the broadcast booth, Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny. And boy, it's been a treat to watch this team go here, this #1 team in the country at Sam Houston. And you just see it with a little bit of ease. They make it look easy. And Eric Schmidt's been all kinds of fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's a reason why this team is the #1 team in the country. Give ACU credit. ACU has been here, and they've had some good defensive series. Can't get things going offensively, but I think that's credit to the orange and white on the other side. Coach Keeler talked about this being a trap game. A lot of things ahead for us, but we've got to take care of business today, and so far so good as we're 25 minutes deep into this thing. So far so good for the Bearcats.
When you have a veteran team who brings back everybody, they know how to take care of business with the task at hand. This is a day out there in space. Got a little creative there to get at him in the flat just to make something happen. Takes it inside the 10. They'll mark him at the 7-yard line. Coming right into your living room.
Knocked out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Well, Hunter Keir a little slow to try to get off the field here.
You know, I real quick, I said coming into your living room. It's probably more like coming into your phone now these days, right? Everybody's watching it on the ESPN app. Yeah, that's Hunter Keir, ACU linebacker, who's down. Ife Adeyi, the man on the catch, and here he is coming right at you.
A great view, our ACU TV crew. Been doing this all season long.
6th game here at Wildcat Stadium this season, after doing just one in 2020.
It's felt good to get back to a little bit of normalcy.
It
this
really
year,
has, yeah. Fans can be back here again, and there we go. That's David. There he is. He's running one of our cameras. We got the best students running these cameras you'll ever see. Saw David up there. Where's Caleb? There he is. There's Caleb. Is he seeing us? He gave us the thumbs up. Yes, there it is. This whole crew, we're having a lot of fun today. This is opportunity of a lifetime, this wonderful chance at ACU to get these students involved. Here's a handoff, well, a little toss rather, and back to the 5-yard line. Sam Houston is Kyron Jackson, a senior out of Fort Worth.
A nice pursuit there by the Wildcat defense. Roland Williams, Coy Richardson, as you mentioned. Sam went to the short side of the field, the near side of the field, and ACU responded with good pursuit and able to get the Bearcats out of bounds. 3rd down and goal from the 5.
It's a couple of times they've brought in that personnel where they've had 2 running backs in the backfield. They keep Smith out there. He's got a receiving touchdown, number 6, right next to Schmid, but Adeyi comes back. He's in the slot to the left. Back to Smith on the ground, and he's wrestled down at the 3. And see if Sam Houston wants to go for it on 4th and goal.
Well, it's Brian Bullock again filling the hole there on 3rd and goal. Called his name a bunch today.
Or was that a first down? Oh, they didn't need the goal line. They could get a first down, and so now 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. I had that mixed up on the scoreboard. So 1st and goal now for the Bearcats. And Schmid to throw. Quick one. End zone knocked away and a flag. Looking for Cody Crest. Roland Williams in coverage. And we'll see if this is on ACU defensively.
Number 15, the defense.
A hold.
Yep, another great view there from the ACU TV crew is Williams had a little bit of the jersey with his left hand, and I love give Williams a lot of credit. He puts his hands behind his back as the officials are looking at it, and he's trying to do that very innocent, not me, but look at that, great view of it. And watch Roland pop up, puts his hands behind his back.
Whoops.
No, not me. I didn't do anything. The TV replay shows otherwise, Roland.
Yeah, that's right. Cameras don't lie there. 1st down and goal again. Back to Smith. Cuts left. He's in. Touchdown. Noah Smith.
Touchdown, Sam Houston.
Celebrating with some Sam Houston fans in the back of the end zone. Sophomore from Cyprus. He's got one on the ground now to go with his receiving touchdown earlier in the half.
On to attempt the extra point for the Bearcats.
Just good blocking. He gets out on the edge and walks into the end zone again for his 2nd touchdown. First time the Bearcats been in the end zone in a while, but their lengthiest drive of the day as they get in.
12 plays, 78 yards. Extra point is good from Seth Morgan. 28-0 here in this first half. Sam Houston looking all like the #1 team in FCS. Here's what's coming up on the ESPN Halftime Report. We're going to chat with ACU's new Vice President for Athletics, Zach Lassiter. He'll be here in the booth, and myself and Andy will be in the booth as well to break down the first half with highlights, stats, and the analysis, all coming up on the ESPN Halftime Report.
You had a chance to visit with the new Vice President of Athletics, Zach Lassiter. Spent much time with him?
Not a lot. We've spent time with him as a group a little bit, but very excited about him moving. And was previously at Oregon State. It had been a stop at Central Florida as well. Is now going to start December the 1st as the new VP for Athletics for ACU.
Well, he comes in with a great pedigree, and he takes over a great athletic program here in ACU with what's been going on men's and women's basketball, of course, baseball, track and field, the other sports as well. He comes into a healthy situation here at ACU. Glad to have him coming.
Cameron Hearn, oh, here we go. I think we're 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 now with the ball coming off of the tee. The West Texas wind. Here is the kickoff, and it's short. Fielded at the 10. Johnson gonna go. Takes it across the 20-yard line. Well, you know, in a couple of weeks, the playoffs are going to start for Sam Houston. They're going to have a bye next week, more than likely. They're the top team. I mean, can we stop with the argument that this team might have to fight for the top spot? I mean, this team is #1 in the country, and I just don't think you can tell me otherwise at this level.
Well, the only undefeated team in FCS, #1 in the country. I think they'll be the #1 overall seed, which means a bye and home field advantage. It's a 24-team bracket. The top 8 teams will get a bye next week, but I think the Bearcats have done what they need to have home field advantage throughout.
Anthony Smith staying in bounds down the sideline and takes it for first to the 33.
Smith just gets out, gets a block that he needs to get up the field. Good block to seal the edge there by Spadone, and the Wildcats get the first down.
11 yards to the Texas State transfer. He was running behind Sam Houston's now right tackle, Reese Jordan, when they were both at Texas State. How about this? Reese Jordan won 9 games in 4 years with Texas State. He's already got 9 wins this year with Sam Houston. Fake for Mansell, looking to take a shot to Remington Lutz. Oh, a diving effort. Nearly hauled it in with one paw down the sideline and falls incomplete.
Well, Remington pulled up there as he's running that route. He's got a step on the defender again. The pass a little high as Remington was starting to lose his balance and fall, but just an inch off of execution for another big play.
Second time ACU's tried to go more than 15 yards down the field. 0 for 2 on those shots, but they've had him open. Here is a handoff. It's Smith. Good blocking here. So he takes it on that outside zone, and he'll rumble for 11 to the 44, and he's knocked down there by the linebacker, I believe, and it is Kavian Gaither.
Smith's longest rush of the day. Dobbins the 18-yard rush earlier. Those are the longest 2 rushes of the day. Back-to-back first downs here for the Wildcats.
Gaither, rather the safety, backup safety for Sam Houston. Freshman out of Waco, Texas. 44-yard line. Kobe Clark, the man in motion. It's a fake. Mansell. Boy, how athletic is this kid, too? I'll throw on the run is too low for Clark. But Mansell, we got 2 QBs who can really create plays with their legs.
And I thought Peyton was going to tuck that and run and try to get 5 to 8 yards. As he gets on the outside with a little room to run, he sees Kobe last moment, just short hops that one to Kobe, who was open, but trying to throw on the run to the right and just could not get enough on that one to get it to Kobe down the field. Falls incomplete.
2.5 until halftime. And 2nd and 10. A route to Holman. We've seen him a lot in that short game. Holman's been busy. He makes the catch along the sideline. That's catch number 4. So they got 27 yards receiving so far.
Pass complete to number 16, Denver Holman.
6 coming up.
Brought down after a gain of 4 at the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Injury on the field for Sam Houston.
Zach, I want to go back to something we were talking about a moment ago, and you were talking about just Sam Houston being the best team and you know, having home field advantage and such. And this week, Coach Keeler just said, hey, there's only really 2 ways we lose. Not just this weekend, but moving forward in the playoffs. It's if our bodies don't hold up 20 games in a calendar year, or if we don't play clean. That's how confident he feels in this team, as you see him ranked #1. And you see some heavy hitters in this top 10. But Coach Keeler thinks that much about this team. If our bodies will hold up 20 games in 1 year, then we'll be fine. And as long as we play clean, we'll be fine. I think that's a high compliment to his team to say that publicly, not just in the locker room, but publicly. I think we're the best team in FCS.
And if you look at those teams, right, James Madison, perennial stud program. North Dakota State, we know how good they've been. They got a couple of quarterbacks who are in the NFL. Eastern Washington. The other thing about that is if you don't have to go to the Dome in Fargo, and if you don't have to go to Virginia to play James Madison, they have to come to you to Huntsville. Total game changer for these Bearcats. Now they get to do it at home, and boy, they're a lot harder to beat at Bauer Stadium than they are anywhere else. That's Tyrese White. He'll take it to the 44 for a first down for ACU.
How about the run game on this possession? That's another move the sticks run for White off the left tackle, and the Wildcats into plus territory. One other thought on that, Coach Keeler also said, you know, we get a chance when we travel during the year, we plan our trips, you know, in the summer. We make all of our hotel plans, arrangements, flights, etc. When you're doing that in the playoffs, you got to do it boom, boom, boom. It's just one more thing as we're game planning to try to figure out logistics. Don't have to worry about those type of things if you play at home.
And I tell you, a lot of fans, there's a lot of maybe naysayers for Sam Houston or anybody, as Mansell keeps it here. He'll finish that thought in a moment as he takes it to the 41-yard line. I think a lot of people have said, does that championship in the spring, quote unquote, count? Because it wasn't in the full season, and you know, Trey Lance wasn't at North Dakota State. He was getting ready for the NFL draft. Come on now, the teams that they had to play in the spring to win the title was insane, and now they're validating again. They're about to go 10-0 in this regular season. I mean, I think that argument you can't make that one anymore either. 2nd down and 7. For Abilene Christian, with under a minute to go until halftime. Quick throw here, Davion Johnson. He is so quick in space. Takes it for a first down to the 32.
Clock stops, 45 seconds to work with. This is the deepest that the Wildcats have been here in the first half. Still one timeout in their pocket.
They're going to toss it. Dobbins, it's a foot race to the sideline. He's not going to get there at all, and he is going to be taken down by the safety, Tristan McCollum. Timeout ACU with 29 seconds to go. Yeah, the McCollum twins. You may be seeing them on an NFL team near you. Zion McCollum, they think he's a legitimate choice, and a draft choice, and they think that Tristan might be in an NFL camp someday too. Talented group of Bearcats.
So 29 seconds to work with, no timeouts now for ACU. Obviously in field goal range, but on a day like today,
yeah,
love to get touchdowns. So now you're looking at working the sidelines, working the center of the field, but it has to be past the stick. So if you get a first down, the clock will stop just long enough to reset. Can't take a sack, and really at this point can't run the football with just the 31 seconds left here in the first half.
This is crazy. I mean, you're talking about this drive alone is 9 plays, 47 yards. That's basically doubled the total production of the entire half for ACU, just 94 yards of total offense. And with 31 ticks. 2nd down, Mansell throws, incomplete. Johnson didn't look like he was ready for that. 3rd down.
Looked like Johnson curled to the outside, and Mansell threw the curl to the inside. That ball just sailed past Johnson's helmet.
You mentioned Johnson's been kind of the guy that Mansell wants to throw it to. There's a lot of weapons in this receiving core.
And Davion just had 8 catches as Stone Earl was the quarterback, and since Mansell's taken over, he's had 18.
Alex Spadone, top of your screen. They fake the screen. Mansell's going to float this and throw it away, and it's 4th down at the 31-yard line, and I guess with 22 seconds, this does make sense to kick a field goal right before halftime, and they'll send out Blair Zepeda.
Well, 4th and 10, again, risk reward, and percentage of getting the first down at 4th and 10 not very high, and Blair Zepeda has been a highlight of the last 4 weeks for the Wildcats. He's 7 of 8 from field goals the last 4 weeks, including a career long of 53.
Yeah, and this would be from, it appears, 48 timeout, Sam Houston.
And a chance, you know, for something positive for the Wildcats here going into the half, a half that's been difficult. Let's try to get some points on the board, and we'll send out our kicker, Blair Zepeda.
Is it weird to say that the game almost turned on the game's first 4th down try? ACU tries to go for it, and they had the play to Denver Holman. I mean, if they convert that on their opening drive, does that turn into points? I mean, all of a sudden, Sam Houston takes it down the field. They get a couple of short fields, and boom, boom, it's 14-0.
Yeah, and I agree. And maybe piggyback the first Sam Houston offensive drive with that. But
sure,
we've heard that Sam Houston's a team that comes out of the gate slow. As a matter of fact, we heard them defined as avalanche football. We start slow, but once we get momentum, we take it. They had the momentum early in this one. Yeah, that might have changed things had ACU kept that drive alive.
10 for 14, as you see, for Zepeda this year. 3 for 5 in kicks from 40 to 49 yards. This is 48. It's a good snap. It's a good hold, and Blair Zepeda puts ACU on the board. And again, oh, now a flag comes. Boy, there's been a lot of hand fighting here over the last few plays. There's some stuff to sort out here as ACU gets its first points of the game. A lot of activity after the kick. Let's find out from Mr. Jones.
Number 95 of the defense, his first. The 15-yard penalty is on the kickoff.
Joseph Wallace, the defensive line, called for unsportsmanlike conduct. And force it on the kickoff. I mean, so you see the kick. I don't know if we're going to see anything post-play.
Well, Blair's been something special the last few weeks. That thing from 53 last week against Tarleton was a thing of beauty. Has a 52-yarder this week. Yeah, now 8 of 9 over his last 9 kicks. He's made 8 of them, now spanning over 5 games. Sam Houston has to be careful with the unsportsmanlike conducts with potential repercussions of sitting out a first half or some disciplinary action down the road.
Hey, guess what? The ball fell off the tee.
You feel like Lucy and Charlie Brown are on the field today? I just feel that today.
I want to see somebody slip and fall. We're getting close to Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. This ball is in the air at a little quick pooch kick there, and it's fallen on. Gaither. I don't know that this is just me thinking out loud here for a second. I don't know that I love the enforcement on the kickoff with that 15-yard penalty. What does that get you anymore these days? I mean, maybe the ball, they tried a little squib, and Sam Houston's going to take a knee, get us to halftime. I think I'd rather see it enforced after the kickoff on the first play of the drive to actually penalize the team. That's just me thinking out loud. But as Eric Schmidt's going to take a knee, and that is going to send us into halftime. Sam Houston 28, ACU 3 in halftime on ESPN. Coming up after this. You look at the halftime score of 28-3. Top team in the country, Sam Houston, on the road, up 25 at halftime over Abilene Christian. As we say hello from the broadcast booth, Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny getting set for the second half here in a few moments. Well, first half obviously dominated by Sam Houston, really from start to finish, and it started after that opening drive. ACU turned it over on downs, and here come the Bearcats.
Yeah, Bearcats just as good as advertised, and ACU right out of the chute, maybe their best offensive drive, maybe right at the end of the first half they get a field goal, but into plus territory, have a fourth down, don't convert. Nothing wrong with the risk reward, but then after that, here comes the Sam Houston offense. They score in their first drive and pretty much replicated that throughout the first half, 4 first-half touchdowns.
And just 94 total yards of offense there for ACU. No turnovers in the game that mattered there, but 1 for 8 on third down as well. All dominated there by Sam Houston there in that first half.
And the stat that sticks out to me, Sam Houston with 15 completions, 189. ACU has 14 completions, but just 69 yards. Everything has been lateral for ACU, where Sam Houston's been able to stretch the field. That's not yards after catch. That's just pass routes that Sam Houston stretching the field a little bit more than ACU, and you can see that in the first half stats.
Sam Houston's going to get the ball to start the third quarter as well. We'll see how long, it's only 28-3. I mean, we'll probably see starters at least for a little while, and we'll see what Sam Houston does after that if this thing gets completely out of hand. Blair Zepeda is going to kick it deep and out the back of the end zone, and Sam Houston's going to go into the wind to start the third quarter, which does matter a lot when you're talking here at Wildcat Stadium, about 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. Eric Schmid, you mentioned his first half numbers. He was really good, a lot of completions, so they were able to move it really, really well, 189 yards through the air.
Yeah, 15 of 21, 189, the 2 touchdown passes that he had in the first half. And when Sam Houston needed a play as well on third down, he was able to break out of a pocket and run with his legs. 4 carries for 25. Just a typical day at the office for Eric Schmid. And we'll see how long he goes here in the second half. Of course, bigger fish to fry as we talk about the FCS playoffs right around the corner, but he'll start this second half with his Bearcat offense.
And they start with Ramon Jefferson on the ground, breaks a couple of tackles, and he rumbles across the 40. And a good start to this drive for Sam Houston. A gain of 18 for Ramon Jefferson, a redshirt junior out of the Bronx.
I'm curious to see how the Wildcats will respond. You have 30 minutes left in your 2021 season. Coach Dorrell has been very complimentary of his team over the last few weeks we've never cashed it in. We've had opportunities to cash it in after some tough weeks at Eastern Kentucky or even at Jacksonville State. We've never cashed it in. How will they respond here in this second half?
Well, low snap there from the center, Ethan Hagler, and Schmidt's got a jump on it. It's a loss of 11.
Yeah, and Sam will give this ACU defense a gift here to set up a long field with just a poor execution of a snap. Now a long field for second down.
It's a couple of times now we've seen a snap issue here for Sam Houston. Personnel switch. Brendan Tibbs, and Chandler Harvin at the bottom of your screen.
Haven't seen many empty backfields today, but here it is with the 5 receiver set.
2nd and 21. May take a shot here. They will. Down the sideline. It's Harvin. He's got it, and he's falling backwards at the 35-yard line. Sam Houston goes up top for 33 yards.
It's a double move by Harvin and a pump fake by Schmid to the center of the field. Harvin kind of a post corner route, and he cuts it back to the outside and has the ACU defense all sorts of turned around. It's a 33-yard gain, the 33rd offensive play of 30-plus for the Bearcats this season.
Back to the air. That one's knocked away there at the line of scrimmage. Was that Garvier Freeney that got a hand on that, number 91? Back to the big completion.
Yeah, again, just a double move where it looks like Harvey's coming to the Harvin, it looks like he's coming to the inside and then cuts it back out. And a little pump fake and a nice pass and catch. And that was Freeney who got his hand on the first down play.
Big number 91, the redshirt junior from California, playing in his 48th game at Abilene, or rather, Abilene Christian. Here is a handoff, and Jefferson goes backwards for a yard there. Greg Green was shooting the gap. Hunter Keir there too. ACU's got some good linebackers.
Yep, Quint Titt there on the defensive front as well. 6'2", 285.
Jefferson limping off. You don't want to see that.
That's the strategy that Sam Houston will have to play in this second half. Again, boy, still got a game to play here, but a lot on the horizon. Got to take care of our guys.
Kyron Jackson in there. Number 26, a running back on 3rd and 12. Blitz comes. This pass is a little wide, looking for Tibbs.
On third down, the pass falls
And a 4th down for Sam Houston into the wind at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Bearcats in a little no man's land here with the 4th and 12 at the ACU 35. Into the wind. Punt really doesn't do you much. Yeah, risk reward is not the greatest here. Percentage of 4th and 12 pretty low, but might be your best option, and it is, as the Bearcats will go for it.
Well, if any offense can get 12 yards, right? It would be this one. Schmidt's going to throw. Blitz comes. Oh, look at him swipe away the defender. Now the sideline, and it's too high for Ezard. And a turnover on downs. Roland Williams in coverage. Sam Houston gives it away on the opening drive.
Tip of the cap to the Wildcat defense. Give up the big play to Harvin a moment ago, and Sam gets into plus territory, but the Wildcat defense still playing. Good job on the run defense. They force the high throw there on 4th and 12, and they get the turnover on downs and get the football.
1st and 10 now, and the first chance to see Peyton Mansell in his second half. 14 out of 23, and to your point, just the 69 yards. Nothing down the field. They took a couple of shots. Couldn't get anything going. They got the wind at their back. Here is Mansell. Quick screen. Johnson. Been busy. Davey on Johnson. Oh, putting on the moves. L1, R1 for you video game fans out there. Takes it to the 45.
Well, that's something special. Again, just get out in space, get a block, and get him some room to work with. And the sophomore, the redshirt sophomore.
How do you defend that? Kids
don't know if you can.
Good. What did offensive coordinator Josh Lamberson tell us? You can't tackle him in a phone booth, right? Was that the wording? Here's a handoff to Tyrese White. And he fights to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he'll get 2 out of this.
When's the last time you saw a phone booth?
Do those things still exist? Maybe in England over there somewhere. I mean, on TV shows or something. Nobody sees those phone booths. So, yeah, but you have to walk into the door, close the door. I have no idea.
Davion's never been tackled in a phone booth because he's never been in a phone booth.
I don't think he knows what they are.
Yeah,
Nobody that age knows what those things are anymore. Here is a quick throw. This is Anthony Smith. He's got nothing but daylight. Sam Houston catches up to him at the 25-yard line. 27 yards.
First pass and catch of 20-plus today. It's the 30th time on the season that's happened. Cameron Alexander, the corner, just got caught cheating in the center of the field. I'm not sure he even saw the pass to his side because he's cheating in. And before you know it, Smith's up the sideline. Nice pass and catch, and Wildcats at 25.
Catch number 4 on the game for Anthony Smith. ACU in business. White has a lane there. Right up the middle. That zone run scheme to the outside. He takes it to the 18. 7-yard pickup. Jahari K in on the stop. Another man down maybe on the field? Yes, another injury. Bearcat defender. Can't tell who that is down on the field for Sam Houston. They'll tend to the injured Bearcat. And we're back to Abilene, Texas in a moment. So they got Tristan McCollum off the field, the safety, the twin brother with Zion. Need these guys healthy for the postseason to Sam Houston. Mansell's going to keep, and he's going to be close to a first down, maybe right at it. Need the 15, got it, first down ECU. Oh, wait a second, now we got flags. Markers are down. Middle of the field, we've seen a lot of this here late in the second, and now here continuing into early in the third. Goodall Jones, the referee, going to talk to us about it. Know if it came after or during the play. Let's find out.
The play, as the ball carrier reached the line to gain, it will be first down. After play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 51 of the offense. That's his first. 15-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 10.
Did I hear 51, Colin James?
I believe so.
The center for ACU called for something after the play. An unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yes,
so James, the center, called for it, and they did say it came after the first down play, so it is still first and 10 for ACU, but it backs them up to the 30.
It'll be first and 10, ACU.
Quick throw, Smith, 5th catch. Sam Houston ready for it that time. Jahari K in there.
Well, before the penalty, Zach, I was about to say that ACU was in the red zone for the first time today. Untimely penalty. Just when starting to make progress. Yards are so hard to come by today. Let's not give up 10 on something after a play. But it is a first and 10, not a first and 20. But nonetheless, you send yourself 10 yards back.
Mansell looking to the corner, that pylon area for Kobe Clark, incomplete. Clark has been targeted 4 times, just 1 catch. For 7 yards for a guy who's got 204 in his career.
3rd all time on the ACU career receptions list. He's done some special things this year, 8 touchdowns. He's scored 3 in the last 3 weeks, all of 25 plus yards.
Top 10 in the country in receiving TDs. He goes in motion, they fake it, roll, Mansell gonna throw it, and 2 wide for Lutz. Looked like they had him there at about the 10.
Well, if that's a play where Peyton can set his feet and throw it, that's a completion, but he's throwing as he's falling down about to get sacked, just throws it up for grabs more than anything, almost completes it, but it falls incomplete. The drive stalls, and Blair Cepeda back on the field.
So you're down 28-3. Do you kick the field goal on 4th and 6? I mean, this will be a 43-yarder. They're going to send out Cepeda.
Points at a premium today. I guess take them when you can.
Good from 48 earlier. This kick is good. Couple of field goals for Cepeda today. The lone points for Abilene Christian. Sam Houston up 28-6. ACU got a short field when 9 plays, 39 yards after a turnover on downs, results in a 43-yard field goal from Blair Cepeda to make it a 28-6 ball game. And ACU is going to kick it off to Sam Houston. We'll see the Bearcats for the 2nd time in the 3rd quarter. Okay, a little short kick, and it is hopped on by the Bearcats at the 45, 46-yard line. ACU trying to go onside. Bearcats are ready for it.
Boys, and they had a chance, and Cepeda actually comes out with both hands on his helmet like, I had a chance. I think he tried to hit it with his hand, and he just didn't do it. It was at 10 yards. I think he had a chance to grab it or deflect it and decided not to. He wasn't quite sure if it had gone 10. It had gone 10. And then the Bearcats jump on it. An opportunity missed there for ACU.
I want to say it was, I can't remember the year exactly, but it wasn't too crazy long ago. I think it was Pat McAfee when he was the punter and a kickoff guy for the Colts. I remember him squibbing one and recovering it himself and just following on the ball.
I think Blair had a chance to do that there. He just was unsure if it had gone 10, so he decided not to.
So Sam Houston takes over at the 46, and Eric Schmidt is sacked by Hunter Kier. ACU's top tackler gets sack ready, #1 on the season.
How about that? Hunter, the leading tackler, as you said. Look at that, just shoots the gap. Nobody picks him up. There's no running back help to pick up the late blitz or the linebacker coming through. And good tackle there for Hunter, 4-yard loss.
Back to the ground, it's Noah Smith. He had 2 touchdowns in the first half. Picks up a couple here. Brian Bullock, the 2nd leading tackler on the team out of the safety spot. 3rd and 8.
This is where misdirection for Sam's been good all day. Just a little play action. If not play action, just let Schmid work the field, scramble, potentially try to pick it up with his legs.
Completing 64% of his passes today. This throw is a little in front of, maybe? I mean, not a terrible throw. It was dropped. It appeared at the 35-yard line by the tight end, Schley.
Well, pressure coming again from ACU. I think Schmid felt it coming and threw it just a tad bit before he wanted to. And Schley unable to pull it in. And the Bearcats will bring the punt unit in. Although on the plus side of the field, they'll go ahead and bring the punt team in.
Well, it looked like they had that there, too, with Schley. Matt McRobert going to punt. And for McRobert, it will be punt number 2. Hearn punted one as well for Sam Houston. We see the stats. Fair catch call. Jordan Brooks West, 12-yard line. ACU back to work. Down 28-6 on offense in the third. ACU going to start from the 13-yard line, trailing 28-6. We'll see what drive number 2 looks like in the third quarter for Abilene Christian. They'll go on the ground to Jeremiah Dobbins. He is going to be tackled from behind, it appears. Linebacker Trevor Williams was in there, number 1. One of the captains of this defense, one of the 4 captains on the team.
Well, again, compliments to ACU and their resolve here in this third quarter. Come out well, 2 defensive series, have come up with 2 defensive stops, and the offense able to get on the scoreboard their first drive. We'll see if they can duplicate that here in drive number 2.
Denver Holman in motion. Mansell throwing on the run. Oh, long throw. Is that a catch? Incomplete. Looking for Clark on the sideline. Really good effort. Just couldn't get the foot down, it appears.
Yeah, and I tell you, the ball sails just a little on Peyton. If you'll notice, he doesn't set his feet when he throws this one. He's throwing on the run, and maybe he has to because of time and pressure that's coming. But if that's one where he can turn the hips, square the feet, and fire that thing, that's probably a completion. But because he's throwing on the run, it just sails a bit long. And Kobe with a nice catch, but cannot get the foot down, and now it's 3rd down and long.
Well, it looked close in that replay, though, to him getting that foot in bounds. No challenge. Mansell's going to throw. That is behind Denver Holman, but he makes a really tough catch, and he picks up the first down. 12 yards on 3rd and 7. Ooh, and now Holman's down. Got wrapped up and turned and spun. How about this effort?
That's a nice catch, little square in. Wildcats need 7. Holman gives them 12 on the square in, his 5th reception of the day. But they're checking that left leg to get spun around on that tackle.
Couldn't quite tell there at the end of the play. But he did kind of get spun and maybe caught underneath there at the end of it. But a good effort as ACU picks up a 3rd down. See if we can look at it one more time.
And that left leg kind of caught on him as he spun around, and it looked like the cleat on the left leg kind of stuck as his momentum of his body and his weight was shifting and just stuck on him just a little bit. Trying to stretch it out. They've got his leg up in the air trying to stretch that out.
That is just ACU's 2nd 3rd down conversion today. Now 2 for 10 in the ball game, and it comes at the 7:58 mark of the 3rd.
But something we've talked about there, on 3rd and 7, it's a 10-yard pass route. And, you know, Denver able to make the catch. He gets some separation from the defender, and he's able to make the catch. So many times today we've seen 3rd and 5+ where the lateral passing game is ACU's bread and butter, but on 3rd and 5+ against a defense like Sam Houston, those plays don't work quite as effectively as what we've seen all year long. But here on a 3rd down and 7, the Wildcat offense able to stretch the field, get some separation on a longer route, and because of that, able to move the sticks, keep the drive alive with the 1st down.
Well, it's good to see Holman up and walking. Cannot hardly put any pressure on that left leg, though. We've seen a few guys go down. You know, nothing too serious from some, more serious looking for others. Hard to speculate from where we are well up here into the broadcast booth, but in particular, I mean, ACU's going into their offseason, so they've got the offseason to heal up, but Sam Houston, they got to keep these guys healthy here as they go into the most important part of their year after Thanksgiving break next week.
Yeah, still 4 games. It would take 4 games to win the national championship.
Yeah.
2014 bracket in the FCS playoffs. The top 8 will get a bye. We assume Sam would get a bye, so be into the round of 16. So it would take 4 more games for the Bearcats. Certainly need to stay healthy this afternoon.
Going to throw it out to Anthony Smith, and he couldn't hang on to that one. And for Smith for ACU, that is now 5 targets, 4 catches. Remington Lutz, a tight end, checking in for ACU.
Also spotted at the Wildcats' 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 10, ACU.
It just, some of those short throws too, it feels like Mansell hasn't been quite right today, and it felt like it started early on. Some of those are just misfires, it feels like.
Well, seems to be rushing some of those throws out in the quick flat. He knows he needs to get it out there in a hurry, but he's just been rushing it, and because of that, it's off the mark. And either, you know, some of them have a lot of velocity on them, just been bouncing off the hands of receivers too. So,
how hard was it going to be? I mean, we talked about it a little bit early on in the game, but running at all, running between the tackles, maybe even harder for ACU today against this mammoth defensive line for Sam Houston. And they don't lose anything when they go to the guys that are behind them on that defensive line.
just 40 yards rushing thus far for the Wildcats.
3rd and 10. Mansell late blitz, pass picked off, intercepted. Cameron Alexander. Interception number 2 on the season for Alexander. And he sets up shop for Sam Houston inside the 25-yard line of ACU.
Well, 3rd and 10. Peyton trying to stretch the field again. Another square in. This one just thrown a little behind Clark, but Alexander read the route, was able to get to the spot before Clark could, and it's a takeaway by the Sam Houston defense, and now a short field here for the Bearcat offense. 1st and 10 at the ACU 25.
First turnover of the game for either side. And Sam Houston trying to take advantage. Schmidt still out there. Another look at the pick.
And ACU had evened up the turnover category after what they did last week. 6 takeaways against Tarleton, but now -1 with the turnover here.
Jaquez Ezard on the catch. He has had himself a day. That's 5 catches now, and he's over 100 yards receiving. 1st and goal, Sam Houston at the 9.
I think this might be the last drive you see Schmidt and company in the game if they're able to punch a touchdown in here.
Ezard goes in motion. They're going to hand it. This is Smith coming left. Lowers his shoulder through Torrey Hargrove to the 4-yard line. And a helmet came off. Came off of right guard Colby Thomas, who's going to have to leave for a play.
Number 6, Lewis Smith with the carry. Brought down after a gain of 5.
So 2nd and goal at the 4.
That'll make it 2nd and goal.
Schmid, end zone, wide open and off the hand of Ezard. Oh, he was all by himself in the corner. Throw might have been just a little wide.
Yeah, defender slipped for the Wildcats. Ezard all by himself, passed just a tad bit wide.
Still thought he might have caught it.
Yeah, I thought so. Just couldn't haul it in.
So now 3rd and goal.
4 down territory?
I mean, I'd do it.
But the way the defense has played all day long, I think I agree with you.
But that's why I'm up here calling the game and not down on the sideline calling the plays. Schmidt throws, caught. It is Smith. He's got touchdown number 3 on the afternoon. His 2nd receiving. He's got one on the ground too, and an extra point from a 35-6 lead.
Now, just for the record, no 4th down needed.
That's
for
right.
the Bearcats. And I think Coach Keeler just took a big old sigh of relief as Bearcats had not played good here in this 3rd quarter, and the game was still in the balance, you could say, just enough to where he would have to play his starters a little bit longer. But I think now with the Alexander interception, the short field, and the Bearcat touchdown, huge sigh of relief for Coach Keeler and the coaching staff with still 6 minutes left here in this 3rd quarter.
Extra point is good. The interception from Alexander The touchdown to Smith. Sam Houston is up 35-6 with 6 minutes to go in quarter number 3. And you know, you think about this, that's the first points of the third for Sam. And if ACU doesn't throw that pick and could go down the field and get points out of that, maybe a touchdown or whatever, then it's a 2-possession game. So that interception was big for Sam Houston.
Yeah, no doubt. I think, again, you know, Coach Keeler had the idea, okay, we took care of business in the first half. It's 28-3. We're feeling good. Let's go punch in one more touchdown, and then, okay, then we can officially, quote-unquote, relax. But the first 9 minutes of this thing playing out here in the second half have not allowed Sam Houston to, quote-unquote, relax. But the Alexander interception, which you just saw again, the short field and the touchdown, now at 35-6, I think the Bearcats can relax.
Aaron Rodgers said it best, didn't he? Here's Johnson.
Spelled it and everything.
Popped across the 25. Yeah, exactly. Rather, right at the 22-yard line for Peyton Mansell. Let's talk about this Abilene Christian team now for a second here. They're going to be going into an off-season, and they're going to have decisions to make with their players and who's going to come back. Obviously, with all the COVID stuff, guys will have those decisions. If you're senior, are you coming back? Are you entering transfer portal? What do we get? ACU's going to finish 5-6, a game under 500, and they're going to be going into a full slate of WAC next year, not the WAC ASUN Challenge. Talk more on that here in a second after this first down play. Mansell's going to keep it, and he's going to shovel it off to Johnson. He's trying to find his inner Dante Hall out there on the sideline. But just a lot of decisions here to make with the coaching staff and how many of the players are going to come back and what the personnel is going to look like there with the players on this team.
You know, I think it's so unique right now what college coaches are having to deal with. One, the transfer portal is all sorts of crazy. Then the COVID year, where extra year of eligibility for so many players. You remember back in the day when coaches would say, okay, I've got a freshman coming in. He might not play for me this year, but 3 years from now, I've got him slated to be my guy. Well, 3 years from now doesn't exist anymore for college coaches. It does not exist. It's so difficult. You have to think about the here and the now and what we're going to do, the backlog of what the extra year of eligibility with COVID has done, the transfer portal. You don't have to worry about high school recruiting as much as JUCO recruiting or even Division I recruiting. Now, you go find the guy you need to fill the gap. It's such a different dynamic for coaches these days in college athletics. And the ACU coaching staff will get to start that here pretty soon.
Always crazy in the offseason, especially with football. It's a sheer number of guys. Talking about 130 players on a football team. That's Kobe Clark, intended target incomplete, but they have really shut down Clark today. We mentioned it earlier. We'll say it again. Just one catch for 7 yards.
And to finish that thought, even for a coach to say, that's my guy next year. I mean, hey, this guy's coming back. Well, he still has an opportunity now to say, you might have me slated as your guy, but I'm not going to be here, Coach. I apologize for that. So, you know, it's just all sorts of crazy dynamics trying to figure out what the future looks like.
Incomplete to Clark, so that's now fourth down and an opportunity to punt here for ACU. And Logan Burke is going to send this, and it is a fair catch at the 28-yard line, and that is a 41-yard punt. Let's send it down to the third member of our team, Coy Osley.
It's always a big deal when the #1 team in the nation comes to town, but just how good has the Sam Houston team been? Since 2010, they are the winningest team in FCS, third winningest team in FCS, behind illustrious programs like North Dakota State and James Madison. In the 10-season stretch, they've gone 117-37. This includes 5 conference championships and 1 national championship. Guys?
I mean, look at that list. It's just crazy. Thank you, Coy. And as Sam Houston goes on the ground here, we saw Ramon Jefferson hobble off earlier. He's back on the field. He's back making plays. Here he goes. Oh, what a run. He's going to take it out to the 45-yard line. That's one of the great 17-yard runs you will ever see. Jefferson starts right, comes left. Wow.
Look at the grit, tenacity of this one. Yards after contact, all of them.
Oh, just 50 of them.
Yeah, and Schmid's even out there laying a block on the reverse side as he changes directions. Heck of a play.
But also, I don't want my quarterback throwing a block. Just thinking
45-yard line.
on that, but Schmidt just quite the competitor, as is Jefferson. He's going to get another crack at it here, and Anderson and company are ready for it. This time, no gain right at the line of scrimmage. I mean, when you're on a list of North Dakota State and James Madison, two teams that Sam Houston beat in the playoffs last year, by the way. I mean, this Bearcat program over the last decade and plus now, really something.
Number 91,
The reigning national champions 6 months ago. Gonna hand it off. It's back to, I believe that was Jefferson again. Yeah, it was Jefferson on the carry. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Great play, Jack Schultz up front.
Big number 95.
Yeah, 6 foot 280-pound junior.
2nd down, Jefferson on the carry.
Garvier Freeney was in on the last one too. Some guys you'll hear their name again next year.
A couple of Californians.
Yeah. Chance to get off the field here, 3rd down and 10.
Just under 3 to go in the 3rd. That throw is behind Harvin. Incomplete. Sam Houston will punt. Up 35-6. So we did see Schmidt again, and I wonder if maybe at the end of the 3rd will be his time. We can speculate all we don't know when they're going to pull him, but imagine his time should be coming close to an end here at Wildcat Stadium. Hearn's going to punt. See the combination of McRobert and Hearn. Hearn's also the kickoff specialist. Richard Sr. out of Gunter, Texas. Fair catch. Oh, a bobble. But Clark held on to it.
You know, we're talking about Schmidt on the other side. Looks like we'll have the same here for ACU. When do you give the hook and give some other guys a chance to get a little game action going into the offseason? And I think we have that right here for the Wildcats.
Yeah,
too.
you're right. It's Hayden Anderson, number 12, the new QB for ACU, the freshman from Keller, Texas. There he is. He has not thrown a pass yet this year. He has 1 rushing attempt.
Give him a chance to get some reps in here the last 18 minutes of this one.
It's just the number 1 team in the country. That's all it is. Right here's a handoff to Johnson. He's coming left. Look at this. Stevion Johnson. His biggest burst of the day. 30 yards in the Sam Houston territory.
Yeah, great run by Davion. I don't know if you can see it here, but Jordan Brooks West, a crackback block to get him the edge, and a heck of a block by Jordan Brooks West. Davion in space will make some plays, and he does. But that is credit to Jordan Brooks West on a great block on the outside to spring Johnson down the sideline. Anderson's pretty good at this quarterback thing.
Well, look at that.
1 play in.
Take the snap, and he's going to sling it out to Anthony Smith, who's been very busy out of the backfield. He is going to take it for about 8 or so. And so the first career pass for Hayden Anderson is a completion. And another injured Bearcat. And again, this is, you just can't let this become a problem. You got to stay healthy. We heard Coach Keeler talk about it during the week. You got to keep these guys healthy here and just get out of Abilene, Texas in the final, whatever it would be, 16 minutes of this ball game.
That's Trey Fields holding the hamstring on the left side. And again, to reiterate the point Coach Keeler made in his weekly press conference this week, he said there's only 2 ways we lose, we being Sam Houston. There's only 2 ways we lose, not only today, but throughout the playoffs. It's if our bodies don't hold up or if we don't play clean. That's how confident he is in the ability of his team. But again, playing their 20th game of the calendar year. Got to see the bodies hold up. We've seen a few guys go down today.
Anderson trying to set up a screen. I believe it was for Lutz on the far side, and that's incomplete. And he had 3 orange helmets bearing down on him. Pun intended. 3rd and 1 coming up. I'll give you a good terrible punt every now and then. That's my specialty. Minute 41 to go in quarter number 3 on just a beautiful November Saturday in Abilene, Texas. And Hayden Anderson, that's the Peyton Mansell special, isn't it? The fake toss run, and he takes it for a first.
He's brought down after a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, it's a tough run. That's a good, tough run.
Touchdown.
See if they get him throwing the ball here a little bit too.
Love to see him stretch the arm out and stretch the legs of some receivers.
ACU 212 total yards of offense. Jordan Brooks-West in motion, low snap. Anderson trying to get creative, and it's incomplete. They're looking for Holman. That's well done not to turn that over there.
Yeah, good job of just making a play out of nothing. Pass does fall incomplete. Good to see Holman back on the field. He looked like he took a pretty serious injury earlier in the quarter, but back in the receiving corps. But second down and 10. ACU's been down in this part of the field 3 or 4 times today. Have 2 field goals to show, a loss of downs in the first quarter, but they have not been in the red zone yet today.
It's a fake, and Anderson, he's going to wind his arm up and go deep, and it is incomplete, and a flag is down. Kavian Gaither defending Kobe Clark. And who's it on?
Pass interference, number 42, defense. 15 yards from the previous 5. First down.
It's on Gaither.
Well, there it is. We're talking about stretching the arm of Anderson. It was an out and up move by Kobe Clark, double move, and that's how he got behind the defense. The pass a little underthrown, but Clark still an opportunity to make it, but the defense was there a little early. The pass interference was called, and now ACU knocking on the door of the red zone again. 1st and 10 at the 20.
Good throw, right, from Anderson?
Yeah.
That looked like a really good throw. They do think his arm talent really good. 6'1", 173. Quick screen. Tyrese White. Taken down from behind by Tim Hart, rather, linebacker.
And now, Zach, the first time ACU's been in the red zone is they're down at the 15, and this is a crazy stat, maybe my favorite one of the week. It's just the 23rd time an opponent for Sam Houston's been in the red zone, 23rd time all year.
And how good is this defense? And in particular, the defensive coordinator, Clayton Carlin, in his 6th year. And, you know, boy, he's had to go through a lot. We'll talk about that here in a second. Here is a snap, and Anderson going to toss it. Oh, look at this. It's a great tackle. I believe that was Jalen Phillips, the backup jack linebacker. Takes down Davion Johnson as they tried to shovel pass it to him.
And you mentioned Clayton Carlin, defensive coordinator for Sam Houston. Been a little bit of a rough stretch for he and his family. Want to send a shout out to his 12-year-old son, Connor, recovering from a little major surgery he had a few weeks ago. Connor, thoughts and prayers, thinking about you. Hope you're enjoying the Bearcats today. And Coach Carlin and company certainly thinking about you and the Carlin family.
Yeah, your dad's a heck of a coach, isn't he? 4 seconds left to the third of the timeout.
And here, Coach Doral using the wind to his advantage. Wants to get one more play in before the quarter change. Clock would have run out without the timeout, so he wants to get one more play here with the wind at his back.
And it's interesting because if you do not pick up a first down here, then more than likely the quarter is still going to run out.
And field goal
and the field goal would have to go into the wind. So I'm very curious. Like this feels like an important third down. Not that Blair Zepeda can't make a kick into the wind.
Right.
He definitely can do that. But are you kicking a field goal down 35-6 though? Either I don't know. Maybe that's the better question. I don't know. It's 3rd and 9. They would need the let's see, the 10, I believe, the 10-yard line.
Empty backfield here for Anderson. No extra protection, just his 5 offensive linemen.
Looking. He's going to the end zone, and it is incomplete, a little wide of Denver Holman. And that play really just took 2 seconds. Felt longer than that to me. But AC is going to kick a field goal.
With the win.
With the win.
With 2 seconds.
What do I know? I thought it would take 4 seconds on a play like that. Might have been a little home cooking on the clock, right? Zepeda is going to kick it. This will be, what, 36 for Zepeda. He's been the lone scorer for the Wildcats today. Kick is good. Sam Houston 35, Abilene Christian 9. That's the end of the third quarter. WAC football on ESPN continues after these messages. Field goal for Blair Zepeda, his third of the afternoon as we start quarter number 4. Sam Houston 35 and ACU 9. Zach Carlisle along with Andy Penny. Drew Penny's up here in the booth with us as well, our spotter today, and the whole ACUTV student run crew, Hutton Harris and the gang from Abilene, Texas. Short kickoff to start the fourth. Fielded at the 20. Stutter step, and that's where this thing starts. All right, well, we've seen ACU kick 3 field goals. This is what they did during the break here down on the field. Look at this, down to the ground, and the field goal's good, and the celebration's better.
Yeah, you know, I did not see Blair Zepeda react like that on one of his 3 field goals today, but that's the best reaction of the day. Field goals have been good all day long, but that's the best reaction by far.
And I tell you what, he did that into the wind. We've been talking about wind and with wind behind you and all that this whole day. What's your field goal ability like down there? Would you have a shot at one of those?
Probably from 18 plus. It's doubtful from 18 plus. 18 in is got a chance.
Sam Houston starts on the ground to start the fourth quarter. Play continues as they take it across the 25. Eric Schmid's still out there, Andy, to start the quarter number
Zach,
4.
I'm really surprised. Schmid is still in, as well as some other starters still in the football game. I thought once Coach Dorrell and the Wildcats had kind of made the decision, okay, we'll go to the shelf in the second unit and give some reps to those guys that Coach Keeler might follow suit, but maybe it's a deal of keeping your guys in rhythm. You want them to get so many snaps, so many reps, and right now, start the fourth quarter, they're still in the football game.
Schmid looking deep to the sideline, and it is caught. Oh, dropped. Maybe going to the turf. Cody Crest couldn't hold on to it. Now he is down for Sam Houston. What a heck of an effort to try to catch that one, but he is in some pain.
Pass falls incomplete. We have an injury on the play.
Nearly hung on to it. Injury timeout, and we'll step aside in Abilene. Holding his arm and a shoulder of some sort. Cody Crest off the field for Sam Houston. After that, and now they're going to throw it again, and Eric Schmid's pass is incomplete, looking for Jaquez Ezzard.
And Schmid took a huge hit from Kadron Johnson from that defensive line. So back-to-back plays where starters for the Bearcats have taken big hits. Crest took it from the field as he made a diving catch, but Schmid, again, the big hit there from Kadron Johnson.
Is it a you got to score 50 to look good type thing? I mean, you got to get these guys off the field, don't you, if you're Sam Houston? I mean,
I don't know what's left to prove 9.5 games in.
Just do not want to see anybody get hurt. This is a kick, and a punt comes from Kern. Back deep. Bobble. Jordan Brooks West from the 20. That is a 5-yard return and a 52-yard punt. ACU on offense on the other side. Moments of quarter number 4, and Abilene Christian with the ball. Trailing 35-9. Zach Carlisle and Andy Penny. Boy Oslin and the gang. As ACU with Hayden Anderson at QB. He's going to toss it in front of him here to Davion Johnson, and a flag is thrown from 30 yards away from the sideline to the middle of the field. This usually means it's coming back. Let's find out.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 13 of the offense. Penalties half the distance to the goal. First down.
So earlier, Jordan Brooks West had a great block. This one, the illegal kind.
Yeah, I think maybe he just got caught this second time because that's what it was. You know, the old crackback block is what they used to call it. You you catch a defender who's pursuing towards the sideline and a receiver coming back into the middle of the field with a ear hole type of crackback block, and that's an illegal block now. He may have gotten away with it there at the end of the third quarter, but he got caught that time.
Anderson keeps it on the zone read, and he is tackled immediately by Quentin Brown, the backup linebacker. Richard Jr., Tulane transfer. And another Bearcat down. Chris Scott, this team is ready to leave Abilene, aren't they? This is the worst case scenario for Sam Houston today. I mean, we'll talk more about it on the other side. Injuries are piling up for the Bearcats. Second down 21, ACU. After the penalty, and Anderson, look out. He got smoked as he got rid of that ball, and it is incomplete. The pressure from Sean Mustin. Couldn't tell who else that was down there, too. Oh, yeah, no, it's Jahari K. Of course it was. Big boys on the D-line coming after Anderson that time. 30-21.
Well, Sam Houston, a little stat update, 366 yards on the afternoon, 244 pass, 122 rush. So a 2-to-1 ratio as far as total yards. ACU at 214 total yards, 74 on the ground, 140 through the air.
32 attempts passing, 28 on the ground. Anthony Smith out of the backfield. Down he goes across the 20. Tackle made by Quentin Brown. More importantly, wind that clock. So we took under 13 to go in the ball game.
And speaking of winding down, Zach, the 21 season coming to an end, winding down here in the fourth quarter. So what are some of your takeaways or highlights from the 2021 campaign?
Yeah, you know, I think back to the summer when that QB competition was going on with Mansell. And it was so good day in and day out with both of those guys. Here's a punt from Burke, fair catch, 36-yard line. 12:31 to go.
You know, and a compliment to that, I think those two guys made each other better throughout the offseason, even into the season. And that will happen again, or at least assuming they both stay, that will happen again with Mansell and Earl just pushing each other to be better. Great quarterback competition, and you know, that's just one of the highlights. But I agree with you on that one. Really impressed with what Stone did this year before his injury a few weeks ago. A few bumps in the road and a few growing pains, but I think he matured a lot.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more after Sam Houston takes this snap, and the backup quarterback is into the ball game. Here is a handoff up the middle, and boy, that's quite a run. Keegan Shoemaker, the new QB, or Sam Houston, a sophomore from Prosper, Texas, and a transfer from Lafayette. Then, you know, for ACU side, I was thinking back to the opener going to SMU, the great program in Dallas, who, you know, if it was in the top 25 last year, has had a great season. Again, it's a very good program. And ACU, they have to go play them on the road in a tough environment to start the season. I love those season opening games at this level when you can go and play higher up. The crowd for ACU was phenomenal that night as well. Handoff to Noah Smith, but to be able to go over just a couple hours from here to Dallas where you can have a bunch of fans playing over there at SMU, that was a lot of fun that night. And of course, you can forget the 56-0 shutout for ACU. And
at Lamar,
At Lamar. Defensive touchdowns, 8 different players scoring a touchdown in that game.
2 defensive touchdowns that night. I think last week was a big win as ACU beats Tarleton 29-3. That's a rivalry that had been on the shelf since the Lone Star Conference days, but gets dusted off last week, and ACU puts a beat down to Tarleton. That's a rivalry game, just 100 miles between the two schools. That's a recruiting battle when you think about the distance to the Metroplex and the talent pool that's coming out of the Metroplex. Do we go to Tarleton? Do we go to ACU? Well, let's look at the head-to-head. Maybe that'll sway the decision, and ACU wins that 29-3 last week. That could prove big. And you guys got to travel to some new and I don't know if we call them exotic places or not, but some new places this year on the schedule.
Some strange trips. Let's talk about that after this third down. Oh, weird snap. That's happened a couple of times today. Taken off is Shoemaker. He's going to make a couple of men miss. Oh, and he gets popped. Hit hard by Damian Hart, ACU's defensive end. 4th and 2 coming up for the Bearcats.
Yeah, where were new trips for you this year? Jacksonville, Alabama?
Jacksonville, Alabama was one of them.
Yeah.
Richmond, Kentucky with Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Then you had the usuals like Lamar and Stephen F. Austin.
That'll make it 4th and 2.
Trying to think of some of those road games here for ACU as I look at that travel. That was really, I mean, they really didn't travel too much this year, to be honest. 5 road games. SMU to Dallas and then Lamar, just the 2 flights to Alabama and Kentucky. Here's the punt here. Into the end zone it goes. And with 9.5 to play in quarter number 4, it's 35-9. Sam Houston on their way to a perfect regular season. ACU from the 20-yard line in the final 9:39 of the FCS regular season. And Hayden Anderson and this Wildcat offense are going to throw it out to Dax Neese, who's going to make catch number 6 on the year. Picks up a first down and a gain of 14. I was thinking back to Andy, we were talking about moments from the season.
Yeah.
You know, we've called almost every Abilene Christian game in some form of capacity, whether it's for TV or radio. So we've seen the Wildcats all 11 of their games. I think what excited me a lot, there were 6 home games this year. And, you know, obviously at this level, you're not selling out every week. But to have fans be back, ACU 1 home game in 2020. And so for the first time in for what felt like forever, 24 months-ish, was just the fact that they had consistent fans in the stands to watch football at Wildcat Stadium, this beautiful 5-year-old facility. To me, that's big. I mean, it just felt, you said it, it kind of felt normal again, right? That to me was a big deal.
Yeah, I agree with you that. Just an 11-game season to have 6 of them here at home, Anthony Field, Wildcat Stadium. Despite the loss today, still a winning record here at home. 4-2 this year is what the Wildcats will end up here on the home field.
Oh, Anderson drops this one and he jumps on it. It's a loss of 6. We see both sides have problems with the snap at times today.
And now next year moving forward, you correct me, the WAC schedule will be a full WAC schedule.
There'll be 8 teams in the WAC next year.
Had this 1-year commitment with the Atlantic Sun Conference. So next year will be the full WAC schedule. That should be fun to play.
Yeah, and Sam Houston will be a part of that.
Yes,
for one more year before they are off and running to FBS and Conference USA. We'll talk about that in a moment. But 1 more year with the Bearcats, one of the premier programs nationwide, as you see that #1 ranking. 3rd down, Anderson. Oh, look out, White on a screen coming the other direction and going to get a chunk of it back, but a punt should be coming here from ACU. Maybe they'll go for it. Why not? And they are going to decide to punt.
So how long before Sam Houston's in a bowl game? I don't think
That's
it'll
interesting.
take long.
I asked Coach Keeler that question. I said, hey, what were your thoughts about this? He said, well, what we've built here and the location that we're in, Huntsville, Texas.
Between Houston and Dallas.
Dude, where you need to be recruiting-wise, he said, I think we're going to be better, or we're going to be good sooner rather than later. Yes, we might have some growing pains early, but sooner rather than later, I'd give it 5 years max before this team's in a bowl game. I really do. They're already getting powerful Division I transfers. That's a punt, and that's a good one. All the way to the 5-yard line for Logan Burke.
I think you can.
That's a 55-yard punt. Let's take a look at some WAC news and notes real quick here. We're talking about Sam Houston, right? WAC champions. They went 4-0 in the WAC, about to go 5-0 in the WAC this year. So that counts as a conference championship. They're also the AQ7 champion, about to go 6-0 there. How about this? WAC, they're about to welcome in another one. UIW, former Southland rival, and team with these. That'll be effective in July. And then the new WAC commissioner, Brian Thornton, introduced a couple of weeks ago. as the 7th commissioner in WAC history. So a lot going on in the league. We mentioned it. There's going to be 8 teams of football next year. UIW is going to be one of them, who has had a heck of a season in Southland this year as well. UIW has been really good over the last handful of years in the Southland Conference.
And you mentioned what Sam Houston has the ability to do recruiting-wise, right in the triangle between San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, right in that area. Well, look at what UTSA is doing this year on the FBS level. You know, they're in San Antonio. They're in Conference USA. They've got that Texas feel as far as their roster and their talent. And look what they've done.
Yeah, top 10 team.
Yeah, an undefeated run in FBS thus far in Conference USA. It will not take Sam Houston long to be on that same caliber of talent and level of play of what UTSA has shown this year.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. They were very excited about the move. You know, they got a right guy to do this. Casey Keeler can do this.
Yeah.
And you know, who knows how long he'll be at Sam Houston when you build them up and start winning FBS. Who knows who's going to come calling after that? The opportunities are endless for these Bearcats in this program. Final 6 minutes of the year. Keegan Shoemaker, the QB, number 5. He's going to keep it. He's got some space, and he's got the first down and more. All the way out near the 30. Pickup of 18 on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, ACU sold out to the run on the handoff there, and a little zone read or design play, but nice job by Shoemaker just to keep that one and get the first down. Same thought, too, with UIW coming into FCS in Division I. They're right in the recruiting hotbed of the San Antonio area with the success of high school football down in Austin, San Antonio, and they'll be able to take the success that they've had this year in the Southland and continue that in the WAC as they make the transition. They'll be a team that will compete well here in the WAC next year.
Weston Stevens on the carry. Yeah, that's a good point because UIW went up to Division I from Division II the same year Abilene Christian did in 2013, both from the Lone Star Conference in Division II, longtime rivals. So then they're in the Southland Conference together. And then for a year, they're apart. And they're actually going to play a non-conference men's basketball game later on in December. And then they're about to be rivals once again in the WAC. So it's very interesting to see how that all comes together. Right now, if you're an athletic director or a commissioner in a conference, this is crazy what's been going on right now with all of the Texas and Oklahoma stuff from the Big 12 and the trickle-on effect down that's had here for sure. Hand off again to Stevens. He'll take it for a first down to the 42. We got a whole basketball season on ESPN. We're going to have some select games in the spring with baseball and softball as well. Men's and women's hoops all season long. Got to give a shout out to this crew who's done this all fall for us here in Abilene, Texas. This ACUTV student-run crew. Hutton Harris, Will King leading the gang. I mean, it's not the same students doing the same roles different times, right? So they're getting all these new opportunities and experiences. Ball through the hands. Shoemaker going to fall on it at the 30, but they do a terrific job time in and time out, putting together what we think is really one of the top telecasts you can have at this level.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. With the streaming capabilities, I mean, you go worldwide in a hurry to extend the brand of ACU, and what a quality product that's out there for viewers to see.
These guys do a great job. Second down and forever for Sam Houston. 3.5 to go. I think it goes without saying, Bearcats, look, we haven't seen a lot of the other teams up close, but from what I saw last spring, from what we've seen, flag down here as they hand it to Stevens, I think they have as great a chance to repeat and make a ton of history. The Sam Houston. Connor Mullins there. We've had him up in the booth a couple of times. He's down on the sideline for us, manning the camera. Here's the flag.
Holding, number 50. Job. Finger penalty, previous 5. Second down.
There's a peek behind the curtain. There they are in that beautiful studio. A few of them are waving at us. There's Hutton Harris in the front. There's Emily there in the front, too.
Look at all the screens. I can barely keep up with one screen.
I can't even look at my phone without getting confused. These guys are phenomenal. 3.5 to go. And hey, your son Drew's been up here helping us out a couple of times, spotting and things like that. So we love having him do that too. More company up here in the booth. It gets lonely with us up here sometimes, doesn't it?
You and I kind of get tired of staring at each other every once in a while, so it's nice to have a third party.
I think everyone I know can, they can back you up on that. You get sick of staring at me after a while. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Seen a lot of Stevens here this final fourth quarter. I want to go back to this thought of just about Sam Houston. I don't know how you can say it other than this. This team has as great a chance to do what nobody has done, the amount of wins in a calendar year, to go win another national championship come January over in Frisco, Texas, Toyota Stadium. I think they have a great chance to get there and do it again.
Well, they've done it, and it's the same roster that did it, which is just so crazy. We're talking just 6 months ago they were winning the national champion and now doing it again, and again, this is their 20th game in the calendar year, so it's just been something they've done. Again, can the body hold up? That will be the major question. The talent is there, no doubt about it. The odds will be in their favor because of what we think will be home field advantage. We'll find out again tomorrow. The selection show is tomorrow morning at 11:30 when Sam Houston will see their fate as far as what the playoff bracket looks like. But from what we've seen talent-wise, and again, we haven't seen everybody from across the country, but Sam Houston has the pedigree and has the talent to do it, no doubt.
Yeah, they'll get that first round bye next week, so they don't have to play during the Thanksgiving week. And then they will have everything at Power Stadium, and that's just such a big deal. Here's a punt coming. And the fair catch at the 14-yard line. Minute 42 to go. And we say welcome in one final time, Zach and Andy, to put a bow on this thing from Abilene, Texas. I really enjoyed watching the #1 team in the country today. I think Sam Houston, a great upside, as we mentioned in the postseason, and it's really just been a joy to watch this team play.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Wish them the best of luck, and with what's ahead, we compliment them for winning one national championship, the opportunity to win two, and again with what they've had to accomplish over the last 12 months, best of luck to those guys as they move forward, doing something really, really special.
And if you can get over to Frisco, Texas for that FCS national championship game, that is a lot of fun. Here is Anderson taking off. Oh, look at this. Takes it out across the 30, and he'll go to the 31-yard line to pick up a 17. Hayden Anderson hasn't looked too bad here today, has he? For ACU. Done a couple of good things. 6 for 10 passing. It's his 5th rush.
Yeah, it'll be a little springboard for him as he goes into an off season to, again, his first reps, first pass attempts of the year, and that's some good things to brag about.
I think there's going to be a lot of eyes around the big country on this ACU football program in this offseason. Feels like a big one for this program. As Jeremiah Dobbins takes it to the 35. You kind of feel bad for a guy like Dobbins who just never really got going this year. It got hurt in the preseason and had the lingering hamstring, was supposed to be the #1 guy, and then it's been a busy backfield and not the season he would have liked. But there's a lot of talent on this ACU roster. What do they do with it come next fall will be the question.
That's a good problem to have.
It is.
Competition at every spot.
Dobbins again. And I don't think ACU needs to run another play. So we're under 30 seconds to go. And that should do it. Sam Houston is going to go to 10-0. Well, now a stoppage with 15. Injury timeout. Boy, they got to stay healthy. Keep these Bearcats healthy. Give them a chance in the postseason.
Zach, enjoyed it, my friend.
Been a fun fall.
No doubt about it.
5 seconds on the game clock. Start on my signal.
They're going to wind the clock, I believe, and that will run us down. Sam Houston goes to 10-0, and Abilene Christian wraps up at 5-6. Final score, Sam Houston 35 and ACU 9. This has been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Andy Penny, Coy Oslin, the whole crew, led by Hutton Harris, saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.